CFAX Victoria,
an iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
it's here.
CFAX 1070.
Hey, good morning. It's 6 o'clock on Friday, August the 7th. We have 13 degrees out there right now. It's a day that looks a lot like the last few days with some sunshine, maybe a little smoke haze. We'll get you the full forecast in just a moment. Right now, the news begins, and here, sitting in for Lisa Best again, is Steve Young.
Thank you, Ryan. Good morning, everyone. A dramatic rescue in Strathcona Provincial Park Thursday. CTV Vancouver Island's Andy Garland reports.
Keshav Jindal is being stretchered to an waiting ambulance after spending almost 4 days on a cliff band in the Strathcona wilderness.
He has significant injuries as a result of a fall.
This morning, an RCMP helicopter searching drainages spotted Jindal.
And he was waving on something white.
And he is in a drainage, so a gully going off the side of the cliff, and that is where he has been probably for the last few days.
A technical hoist rescue team was launched to pluck Jindal off the mountainside, who was on a 60 to 70 degree slope.
Buddy walked up to here.
Search and rescue believed Jindal tried to take a shortcut down to a lake when he was waiting for his friend to return from summiting Mount Albert Edward on Monday.
If you zoom in, you can see that it's pretty steep cliffs. We're not sure how he got in there. Very lucky.
Comox Search and Rescue says this incident is a reminder why hiking parties should stick together, or if someone is unable to continue and decides to wait for your return.
Stay where you were. It's a lot easier to find you if you stay where you say you were going to be.
SAR says Jindal is also suffering from being exposed to the elements for a number of days and was airlifted to a trauma center. Andy Garland, CTV News, Mount Washington.
Remember those days? The price of regular gas was under $2 a liter.
I fondly remember those far-off, distant days.
Yes. Seems like yesterday, doesn't it, Ryan?
It does, doesn't it?
Oh, wait. It was yesterday.
Oh, no.
Prices have spiked again just in time for the weekend across Greater Victoria. New price, $2.07 a liter. You'll see the odd gas station that hasn't increased them yet. BC Premier David Eby says thousands of people across the province are stepping up to help people forced out of their homes by wildfires. Eby was at Abbotsford International Airport yesterday, where he welcomed firefighters from Mexico for a 2-week deployment.
These 200 wildfire fighters from Mexico are likely going to the Brunswick Complex fire in the Fraser Canyon, and they will provide much needed support and relief for our frontline wildfire fighters to be able to recover and then return to the front line to continue their important work.
The contingent from Mexico is among 600 firefighters coming to help from other parts of Canada and around the world. StatsCan set to release its latest labor force survey for the month of July this morning.
Economists predict Canada added 15,000 jobs in July after gaining 18,000 in June. They expect the unemployment rate to remain the same at 6.5%. Economists have said the labor market appears to be stabilizing after the first quarter of the year brought a mild contraction and employers shed jobs. The economy likely fared a lot better in the second quarter, with StatsCan estimating real GDP grew 3.4% on an annualized basis over the 3-month period. Michelle Zedekian, The Canadian Press.
BC's Housing Minister Christine Boyle says new figures show that her government's policies to create more housing are working, but that more work needs to be done. The minister says her government is working with the federal government to slash development cost charges to lower the cost of construction, with Victoria and Ottawa looking to make up the difference.
The key thing I hear from local governments is the need to be kept whole. Many local governments are keen on this. They are also supportive of reducing the cost of building housing, and they know, like I do, the need for those community level investments. And so those are the details we're working out. We want a made in BC model.
Boyle, who's a former Vancouver City Councillor, says the government also plans to reveal details to convert more than 2,200 condominiums into affordable housing. National Defence says Canada's decision to join a new multinational fighter jet program as an observer doesn't come with any price tag. But the department admits there could be resource implications if Canada eventually decides to sign on to the Next Generation Jet Development Program as a full member. That full cost of admission remains unclear at this point. Canada recently became the first country to gain observer status in the Global Combat Air Program run by Italy, Japan, and the UK to develop a sixth-generation fighter aircraft, giving it access to inside information. And that's your news to 6:05. Today's CFAX 1070 News Poll. Have you noticed any difference in street disorder in downtown Victoria over the past year? After Council's $10 million investment, only 10% of you say you have. You can vote now at CFAX1070.com or on the iHeartRadio app. It's 6:06.
Hey, thanks, Steve. It's 13 degrees right now. We're going to be heading towards another sunny day today for the most part. We'll get you a full forecast in just a moment. Right now, let's get to the sports. In lacrosse, the Victoria Shamrocks defeated the Nanaimo Timbermen in Game 2 of the Western Lacrosse Association playoff semifinals. That means the Shamrocks take a 2-0 lead in the best-of-5 series. It returns to Victoria tonight for Game 3, so there's not a lot of turnaround here, just right back into it. And the Shamrocks can secure a series sweep and advance to the WLA Finals if they win this one on home floor. In baseball, the Nanaimo Night Owls will play their first ever West Coast League playoff game tonight in Nanaimo, hosting the Bellingham Bells for Game 1 of the North Division semifinal. That game is going to be 6:35 up in Nanaimo. For the majors, Caleb Durbin singled in the 13th inning to score, and the Boston Red Sox rallied to beat the Chicago White Sox 12-11 in a game that lasted more than 4 hours. Boston won its 8th straight and its 10th game in 11 games. The Red Sox have won 10 consecutive series. It is their second sweep of Chicago. Over to the Blue Jays, Jose Soriano will make his debut as a Jay tonight as Toronto visits the Philadelphia Phillies. Soriano was traded to the Blue Jays back on Monday by the Los Angeles Angels, hours before the Major League Baseball trade deadline, in exchange for 3 of Toronto's prospects. By the way, yesterday as well, Chicago Cubs beating Toronto 3-2 in 11 innings, and Detroit took the Seattle Mariners 11-0. And some CFL news. Toronto Argonauts returned to 500 for their record in thrilling fashion last night. Brady Lidster's 11-yard field goal with 11 seconds remaining capped a wild fourth quarter and earned Toronto a 33-30 victory over the Calgary Stampeders. It was the Argonauts' first game at BMO Field this season, after the home stadium, of course, was being used by FIFA for the World Cup. Saskatchewan Roughriders are taking the winless Ottawa Red Blacks seriously in Regina tonight. The defending Grey Cup champ Roughriders are second in the CFL West Division with a 5-2 record. Saskatchewan's quarterback Trevor Harris and head coach Corey Mace both say that 0-7 Ottawa can still be dangerous. CFAX Sports Times, 6:09. 6:10 now on this Friday morning. What's happening on the roads? Not a lot for our major commutes. The volume delays are light at this hour. No crashes to report. We will have road closures already kind of starting to form around the inner harbor of Victoria, though. We're talking things like Belleville and Government Street. This is right around the inner harbor where they will be doing the big Foster and Friends celebration. The big free concert tomorrow night. The gala happening tonight. So, yeah, road closures will start to form as of this morning. For the BC Ferries, we've got a 7 o'clock sailing from Swartz Bay to Tsawwassen, which is about 85% full. No sailing weight yet, but it's a fairly busy start to the Friday. The weather forecast, mainly sunny today. We've got a little bit of breeze blowing off the Juan de Fuca Strait. So, if you're right by the strait, if you're on that kind of side of the capital region, 50-kilometer-an-hour winds are what you can expect. Highs hitting about 24 degrees with a humidex of 27. So, feeling kind of like the last few days, just that warm, humid condition, which really seems to kick in later in the afternoon. If you notice that the mornings are actually, a little on the cool side. I came into work not so long ago with the jacket on because it was kind of cold, but then it's going to be feeling like 27 degrees, the humidity later. And let's talk about smoke, because it seems like it's lightening off a little bit. There's still a potential we could see a little smoky haze today, but that seems to be lightening. And in fact, the Environment Canada Air Quality Index is down to a 2 today. We peaked at a 4 yesterday, and a 2 is on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being great. I mean, we're pretty close to great. So it looks like we're clearing out of the smoke haze, but you just might notice it at times still a little bit. Let's talk about the weekend. Cloudy for parts of our Saturday morning, clearing up as the day goes on. Still warm and humid, but a little less. A high of 22 with a humidex of 25. Sunday, a mix of sun and cloud, high of 22. And right now, for the temperatures at the airport, the official temperature in Victoria is currently 12 degrees. We've dropped a little bit as we cool off into the day, but the sun is up now and we'll be warming up soon, and it's 14 degrees downtown. North American stock markets will have their opening bells ring a little later this hour, so let's take a look at how things closed off yesterday with Aaron Sousa.
Canada's main stock index slipped yesterday. Toronto's S&P TSX was down 10 points to 36,136. U.S. markets also fell yesterday. The Dow was down 446 points and the Nasdaq was down 15. In Tokyo this morning, the Nikkei dropped 76 points, but the Hang Seng in Hong Kong gained 137. Our dollar's early trading is around 71.29 cents U.S. Statistics Canada is set to release July job numbers today. Economists predict a modest gain of 15,000 jobs. The labor market seems to be stabilizing after a mild contraction earlier this year. Canada has joined the Global Combat Air Program as an observer. The status gives Ottawa access to inside information on 6th-generation fighter jets. National Defence says there's no immediate cost, but full membership in the future could require significant resources. And a New Mexico court has ordered Meta to pay $567 million over harms caused to young users on Instagram and Facebook. From the Canadian Press Business Desk, I'm Aaron Sousa.
Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070. Oversleepers, catch all the highlights on the latest audio podcast at CFAX1070.com and on the free iHeartRadio app.
Well, good morning. Thanks for joining us on Friday as we kick things off here. I'm Ryan. We got Steve Young in for Lisa Best on the news desk for one more day. Steve, that's it. You woke up for your last time. You can sleep like a normal person after this. How are you feeling?
I'm glad it's Friday.
Yeah.
Little headache.
Yeah.
Because the sleep deprivation thing.
It's kicking in. Yeah.
I just, it's a good weekend. There's lots going on locally. There's some big sprint car races going on in Knoxville, Iowa that I watched last night. It's all good. It's all good.
What's number one on the weekend sport event list for you? What are you hoping to check out?
So in 2019, I went to Knoxville, Iowa, which is the hub of sprint car racing in North America. And it's the Knoxville Nationals, and they have 2 weeks of action. 360, which is small block sprint cars, is this week. And then the big race, the 410 sprint cars, is next week. So they have 4 days of racing each time, so you can qualify for the race on Saturday. So that has got my most attention.
Love it. That's if you're looking for Steve, you'll find him watching the race. That's what's going on. But it's been great working with you, Steve. Always love it when you come down here and spend some time in the mornings with us. Next week, you'll be back on in the afternoons where your usual habitat. But the thing I've loved about having you here is we get access to a Sports Guy Steve commentary anytime we want. We don't have to wait. It just, if it happens that somebody out there at 71010 has a Sports Guy Steve question, they've been able to ask it and get a real-time response. So I'm going to put that out there to listeners at 71010. If you've got something you'd love to get Steve's take on in sports, we've got this one last day of him in the morning show to do that. So feel free to send in a request. If not, I'm sure I'll have one for you. So
excellent.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. But first at 6:15, let's get to the headlines. What's going on?
Thanks, Ryan. A hiker in his 20s who went missing since Monday here on the island has been found after being stranded on a cliffside for 3 days. Comox Valley Search and Rescue says 25-year-old Kashif Jindal has been located alive in the Mount Albert Edward area of Strathcona Provincial Park. The rescue team says Jindal was found in steep terrain and rescue crews have brought him to safety. That's the 6th highest peak on the island at more than 2,000 meters. Thousands fled wildfires along Okanagan Lake over the weekend, where hundreds of homes were destroyed, while others in fire-affected areas of the BC interior were lighting illegal fires. The BC Conservation Officer Service says it issued 18 tickets for illegal fires in the same area where the fires are already burning: Clinton, 70 Mile House, Okanagan Lake, and Boston Bar. Fire prohibitions are in place in those areas, banning all campfires and burns, although the service did not specify the types of illegal fires involved. BC government bringing in new requirements for credit reporting agencies and lenders, protecting against identity fraud and making it harder for criminals to take out loans or get a credit card in someone else's name. Attorney General Nikki Sharma says the new rules will come into effect in August of 2027 following amendments to the Businesses Practices and Consumer Protection Act. And that's your news headlines to 617.
Thank you, Steve. By the way, today is our final round of rushing through a Rush song. You got to wait until the 8 o'clock hour. I've been doing this just after the 8 o'clock news every day. We've been playing you.
I'm snickering already.
I know. It's surprisingly my favorite contest we've done all year long. I mean, we've had some good ones. We've had, the Guess That Riff contest where we've played you a little bit of a Guns N' Roses guitar riff and you got to guess the song. We've had karaoke where people have had to sing, Tina Turner songs to win tickets. We've had all of that stuff. I wasn't expecting just playing Rush songs at double speed would be my favorite thing. I have been so delighted by this. If you've missed it, this is your last chance. So just after the 8 o'clock news, we will rush through a Rush song. We're going to play a Rush song really fast, double speed. And if you can still tell me the name of the song, the Rush song, we're going to send you to see Rush, one of Canada's greatest rock bands ever, coming to Vancouver December 15th. Actually, they got two shows. There's the 15th and the 17th of December. We've got tickets to the 15th, and we want to send you. But you got to call in just after the 8 o'clock news and play the game. So just wanted to give everybody a heads up. That's coming up again. But right now, we're going to take a break. We got your traffic and weather next. CFAX 1070 traffic and weather. Hey, if you see anything causing trouble, text me at 71010 because right now it's pretty much smooth sailing. Not a lot of folks commuting at this hour. There will be a few bits to watch out for, though. Again, downtown Inner Harbor, the David Foster concerts and the gala, everything's happening this weekend, and they're going to start the road closures already kind of around the Inner Harbor, so watch out for that. Also, there'll be obstructions on Yates again near Cook. Watch out for road work causing delays there. And then in Langford, there's the Langford Parkway at Langford Lake Road. Fortis BC work, which will continue today. A few of the trouble spots to watch out for. BC Ferries, no sailing waits. Weather is looking good. The main picture today, because it's very similar to the whole week. We've had very stable weather all this week. The main thing that's sort of different is we might see a little less of the smoke haze. Still could be there at times, but it is lessened, and we have a better air quality index. We were peaking at a 4 yesterday, which is about as bad as we got all week with the smoke haze. We're down to a 2 today, so very much more typical air quality, what you usually expect around Victoria. Other than that, like I said, very typical stuff. Mainly sunny today. We got highs of 24, a little humidity in there, making it feel warmer. Clear skies tonight. We got lows down to 13 degrees. Tomorrow, we actually will cloud over a bit in the morning, but then we're sunny by the second half of the day. Highs of 22, a little cooler. Humidex of 25. And then sunshine for Sunday with a few clouds and a high of 22. Oh, did I mention that a little breezy off the Wandafuka Strait today is another thing you'll notice more so than the last few days.
Ryan and Lisa are ready when you are.
Good morning.
Day or night, find the highlights under latest audio at CFAX1070.com and on the free iHeartRadio app.
Well, if you're feeling a little groggy, haven't quite woken up yet, Steve's got something for you that'll shoot you awake. It's the sign at the gas station. If you go by that, you might suddenly jolt.
I was minding my own business, and you're describing it very well this morning.
This is how it went for you this morning. How did it go? What did you see?
I pull out of my parking garage. I make a right. I'm heading down. There's one gas station on the corner around. It's on Veterans Memorial Parkway. I just glance over because I had to stop at the light.
Yeah, you're looking around because you've got some time. You're waiting.
2:07.
Oh, no.
And I said, what? Because I listen to radio as I go to bed every night.
Okay, yeah.
And I was listening to a Toronto all-news station because it helps me prepare for today.
Okay.
And they were talking about an 8-cent drop. And I was like, what?
Okay, so in Toronto, the prices are going down.
Yes.
Okay. And then here, what was it, 207 you saw? 207.9?
Yeah, and then I checked Gas Buddy. There is the odd station in and around Greater Victoria still under the $2 barrier.
Right.
There is some talk that the prices will come back down again sometime today.
Huh.
But I'm less than convinced because you know what Friday means.
The weekend.
And when do you tend to use more gas?
The weekend.
But that's just coincidental.
Yeah.
There's anyway.
All right, well, the gas prices have shot up. Not everywhere, though. Like you said, I was also looking at Gas Buddy here, and I see that there's still a few stations. So you might be able to spot one if you happen to be going around your day and you see one that's not 207. Maybe it's time to fill up. I know Costco, about an hour ago, somebody on Gas Buddy mentioned it's still at its 185.9. At least an hour ago it was, so... that's the gas price story. Who knows what's going on there, but we'll follow that. Steve, we got you here for one last day. Can we do one more of these?
The lineup in his first offering. Touch the ball, Joe. The golden goal.
It's Sports Guy Steve.
Oh, my goodness.
What did you say? You heard me.
Here's Sports Guy Steve. Just a bit outside.
I just got an excuse to play the great sound effect. But, Steve, we are almost at football season south of the border style, and the Seattle Seahawks are getting themselves ready to go. What are you thinking about?
Well, actually, it's a very interesting year. First of all, they're the defending champions, of course.
Yeah.
And they're doing a little thing where they're bringing the championship trophy around Seattle.
Okay.
And they're making one trip up to Vancouver with it as well, which I thought was a nice touch.
I think it's nice when teams like that realize their regionality. that they're a bigger team than just the city. Yeah, anyways. Yeah.
So that's good. I like that, and I think that's, you see a similar relationship between Buffalo and Toronto as you see between Seattle and Vancouver. So it's kind of nice. Now, if you're a big Seahawks fan, HBO, and here in Canada on TSN, part of the Bell Media conglomerate.
Yep. Well done.
See how I did that, Brad?
You snuck that in.
Yes. They're on HBO's Hard Knocks this year. So basically, they follow the team through training camp.
Huh.
So the first edition aired this week, and TSN has it speckled throughout the next few days, and they'll be following the Seahawks through their training camp, coming off their defending championship season, which is kind of neat because you get some things because the cameras are there all the time that you normally wouldn't see. And you know that behind the scenes thing that fans really enjoy just to see what it's really like.
Yeah.
Hard Knocks does that. So if you're a Seahawks fan and you have access, you might want to test that out and see how it goes.
Okay. So there you go. That's your sports guy, Steve. Check in on the Seahawks. And when, and where are they at exactly? Like, when does the NFL regular season start?
Okay, so the Hall of Fame game was last night.
Okay.
And it was a barn burner. They were actually trying. Most preseason games you don't see come down to 33-30 at the end. So that one was impressive. But the Seahawks do not play this week. They start their preseason next week. The first game of the season, I think it's the Thursday night after Labor Day.
Okay, so they're kind of gearing up for September at this point. All right.
Now, the big thing, Zach Charbonneau was set to become the number one running back for the Seahawks this year because, of course, Kenneth Walker, free agent, went to Kansas City to play with Mahomes and Kelsey.
Walker walked away.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Charbonneau is coming back off a knee injury he had in the playoffs. He doesn't look like he's going to be ready for the first game of the regular season, was the word out of Seahawks camp yesterday.
Checking in on the Seahawks. A lot of Seahawks fans here in Victoria. Again, back to them being a fairly regional team. If you follow the NFL, closest thing you got here. We were talking about gas prices a second ago. Texters are weighing in at 71010. This texter, Jason, hey Jason, good morning, says gas at the co-op on the Pat Bay at Keating was at $1.99 about 30 minutes ago. And this texter at 71010 says, regarding gasoline prices of $2.07 Canadian per liter, I just did a comparison. This will equate to $5.60 US per gallon, and the average price in Bellingham was $4.96 US per gallon. So that's Sarah. So we're a little more expensive than our American gas-paying brothers and sisters.
Did you see the outrage in Iowa yesterday?
No, what was that?
So President Trump made a speech, and he said gas is below $2 a gallon now in Iowa.
What?
Yes, he said this.
That does not sound true.
So Iowa went berserk.
Yeah, because they know what their gas prices are, I'm sure.
$3.50 US a gallon in Des Moines. So you could just see, like, the comments. You know how the Twitter machine kind of goes nuts when something is erroneous, like really erroneous, like almost double erroneous.
Yeah, it's become, I mean, I shouldn't say it's becoming an issue. It is an issue. The Americans and gas prices. I mean, we're the same in Canada, but it's amazing how much political heartache can be caused by just the high gas prices. You're just angry at whoever's in charge of the high gas prices.
Well, and you can look it up so easy because, like, things like Gas Buddy, they'll give you the average price for any province, territory, or state, like, instantaneously.
And then you know if you're getting, a raw deal.
Yeah.
Hey, let us know if you see any cheap gas out there as things are going up according to, our observations. We'll keep our eyes on that. But right now, we got to make room for the 6:30 news.
From CFAX 1070.
Here's what's happening around the island. Victoria Symphony presents Symphony in the Summer Festival, July 10th through August 9th. Details at victoriasymphony.ca. Catch all the excitement of summer baseball with the Victoria Harbour Cats. More info at harbourcats.com. Have an event you want featured on CFAX 1070? Text us at 71010 to be featured. Get more event info at CFAX1070.com.
If it's happening, it's here.
CFAX 1070.
CFAX Victoria.
An iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
It's here.
CFAX 1070.
Good morning, 6:32 on this Friday, August the 7th. A little less smoky, a little more windy, but otherwise we're looking at a day much like all the others this week, and we'll get you a full forecast in just a moment. Right now, though, time for the news. Here's Steve Young.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Good morning, everyone. There are still just 2 active wildfires here on Vancouver Island, both west of Campbell River, dating back to last month. Province-wide, there are 103 fires, no new starts over the last 24 hours, and 9 more blazes were declared out. Backup is continuing to show up as the wildfire season remains extremely volatile. Premier David Eby welcomed a troop of firefighters from Mexico, with more expected to arrive from elsewhere in Canada and around the globe.
Mexico stepping up in this way, Australia sending firefighters. These Mexican firefighters are part of a group of about 600 additional firefighters that are coming to British Columbia to provide support to our wildfire service from other parts of the world and other parts of Canada.
Despite all the help, the flames have been relentless, and officials say some people aren't getting the message. Almost 20 tickets for illegal fires were handed out over the weekend, with hot and weather and powerful winds turning those fires into infernos. Environment Canada's air quality index for Victoria is at 3 or low risk today, is expected to drop further tonight. Some smoke will drift in around the noon hour today from Oregon and Washington state fires, then clear out again. There's a new fire start just across the strait in Olympic National Park. That 1-acre fire is burning on the southern slope of Sourdough Mountain, almost due south of Souk. A hiker who had been missing on the island since Monday has been found. Comox Valley Search and Rescue says 25-year-old Keshev Jindal was stranded on a cliffside in the Mount Albert Edward area of Strathcona Provincial Park. Paul Berry says he got separated from his partner during the hike and took a wrong descent to a nearby lake. An RCMP helicopter yesterday spotted him waving, and he was rescued before being taken to emergency services. The federal government says its decision to kick the tires on a new multinational fighter jet program does not come with any sort of a price tag, not unless it decides to formally sign on to the program.
National Defence says there's no entry fee to gain observer status on the Global Combat Air Program, allowing Canada access to inside information on a cutting-edge fighter aircraft the UK, Japan, and Italy are jointly designing. But the department admits that there would be what it calls resource implications if Canada eventually decides to sign on as a full member. 2 decades ago, Canada committed to shelling out hundreds of millions of dollars to join the Joint Strike Fighter program developing the F-35. Ottawa's plans to buy a fleet of F-35 jets remains under review amid the ongoing trade war with the United States. Kyle Duggan, The Canadian Press, Ottawa.
If you're heading downtown this weekend, expect traffic delays and road closures around the Inner Harbor. Vic PD says the closures are in place for the David Foster and Friends concert, marking the David Foster Foundation's 40th anniversary. Setup begins this morning with the 500 block of Belleville Street, closing at 7 a.m. through Sunday. Street-level parking in the 700 block of Government Street will also be closed today. That's your news to 6:35. Today's CFAX 1070 News poll. Have you noticed any difference in street disorder in downtown Victoria over the past year after Council's $10 million investment? 90% of you say you haven't noticed any differences. You can vote now at CFAX1070.com or the iHeartRadio app. It's 6:37.
Thank you, Steve. We are sitting at 12 degrees for the Victoria International Airport, where the official records are kept. But in Colwood right now, you've got 13 degrees. We'll get into another warm, sunny day, a full forecast to come. But first, the sports. And tonight's the night. The Nanaimo Night Owls will play their first ever West Coast League playoff game in Nanaimo, hosting the Bellingham Bells for Game 1 of the North Division semifinal. That game at 6:35. In Victoria, the Shamrocks defeated the Nanaimo Timbermen in Nanaimo last night in Game 2 of the WLA playoff semifinal. So Victoria now takes a 2-0 lead in the best-of-5 series. Being a best-of-5, that means they could sweep the thing in the next game. When's the next game? It's tonight, back at Victoria, the Q Center. So the Shamrocks and the Timbermen again. Victoria could win it on home floor tonight. Over to the majors. For baseball, Detroit defeating Seattle 11-0. For the Blue Jays, it was that rain-delayed game makeup against the Chicago Cubs yesterday. Cubs took Toronto 3-2 in 11 innings. Tonight, Jose Soriano will make his Blue Jays debut as Toronto visits the Philadelphia Flyers. Soriano was traded to the Blue Jays back on Monday, just hours before the trade deadline, and in exchange, they gave up 3 of Toronto's prospects. That is your CFAX 1070 Sports. It's 6:39. CFAX 1070 traffic and weather. Road closures around the Inner Harbor are already on for the David Foster events this weekend. We've also got in Langford continued Fortis BC work on Langford Parkway to roundabout Langford Lake Road. This is not kicking in until 7, but once it does, it'll be on from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. For the weather today, expect another mostly sunny day. A little fog possible this morning. It's going to be a little less hazy. We've got less smoke in the forecast. It might still be present at times, just that sort of haze, but the air quality is a lot better than it was. We're at a 2 instead of a 4 on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is great. We're at a 2, so that's much more kind of typical conditions we see around Victoria. So it seems like the smoke is leaving us. We will get a high of 24, a humidex of 27, so we're kind of like we've been the last few days, just quite warm, particularly later in the afternoon where that mugginess kicks in. A little more wind, though, today. It's going to be blowing a little stronger off the Wandafuka Strait, so if you're on that side of the capital region, gusts up to 50 kilometers an hour expected westerly today. Tonight, clear skies to start, lows down to 13, still windy. Then we've got a bit of cloud in the morning tomorrow, but don't worry. By the time we hit later in the day, by the time we've got the big free David Foster concert in the Inner Harbor on Saturday evening, we're expecting the skies to clear up a bit, and temperatures should top out around 22 degrees. Again, maybe a bit of humidity in the air. And for Sunday, mix of sun and cloud, high at 22. Right now, in downtown Victoria, the temperature we're seeing is 14 degrees. In Shawnigan Lake, it is also 14 degrees. By the way, CFAX Morning Show brought to you by Coastal Heat Pumps. For a comfortable home no matter the season, big savings on your heating bill. Talk to Coastal Heat Pumps. They're designed for comfort. The South Island's Elite Plus Fujitsu Air Stage dealer. We're awaiting the results of the markets today with the opening bells just ringing, but we do know that they'll be reacting to news Canada added 75,000 jobs in July as the unemployment rate ticked down. The unemployment rate fell to its lowest level in 2 years, in fact, to 6.4%. So some positive jobs news for Canada. We'll see what that does to the markets today, in Canada at least. We'll keep you posted once we get those first results. Canadian dollar at 71.7 cents US.
Ryan and Lisa. Mornings on CFAX 1070.
Well, yesterday around about this time, I mentioned that the Kids Count Mega Summer 50-50, our 50-50 raffle we're doing for CFAX Santa's Anonymous, radio station wide. We mentioned that we were about to break the 13,000 mark. And then at the end of the show, we did. We sold a few more tickets. We got up over $13,000. Well, today I think I'm going to make a similar prediction because I'm looking right now, and the jackpot is currently at $13,800. We're almost ready to get over the $14,000 mark. So I'm wondering if by the end of the show today, if by 9 o'clock this morning, we could get to $14,000, because that would mean were the draw to be held today, somebody would walk away with $7,000 as the jackpot, with the other $7,000 going to CFAX Santa's Anonymous and their Kids Count program, which is a program that helps kids beyond Christmas. Do you want to get a ticket? And don't wait, because even though this is going until Thursday, August 27th, that's the deadline to buy your ticket, 5 o'clock that day, it's Thursday, and then that following Friday morning, we'll do the draw at 7 o'clock, and somebody will walk away with all the money. We only have a finite number of tickets for this. It's not an unlimited amount. So if you want to get in on this, a single ticket's $10, 5-pack for $25, 20-pack for $50. It's just like when you go to the baseball game and they got the 50-50. You know, the more you buy, the better the deal gets, Steve.
Cinq ans.
Yeah. So anyways, that's it. Who doesn't love a 50-50, by the way? It's one of the best parts of a baseball game, I think, or a hockey game or whatever it is. Doing the 50-50 draw. Big fan.
It is, because you can hear everybody when they announce the number, everybody after the first number. Oh.
I know. You're already lost. You know, like, or if the tickets that have the numbers to start, sometimes there's A and then B or whatever, and you've got the A and then the B gets drawn. You're like, oh, there's always somebody who's just cursing in the stands. You know, just this swear word gets let out loudly, the first letter. Anyways, CFAX1070.com. Go click on the big button that says Mega Summer 50-50 if you want to check it out. I got a text message here, Steve, for us. Texter says, hey, Ryan and Steve, the Junior A Shamrocks are hosting the Coquitlam Adnacs in Game 6 of their league final series tomorrow. It's 3 p.m. tomorrow at the Q Center. The Shamrocks can punch their ticket to the Minto Cup with a win as they lead 3-2. Would appreciate getting a mention. Thanks. Yeah, perfect. Let's get that out there.
We talked to the coach about that, or the general manager, Chris Welsh, about that yesterday.
Yeah, just yesterday, how well they're doing and how great it is not just to have the senior Shamrocks doing as well as they are, but the whole ecosystem's doing well. Here you go. Exactly. Junior A Shamrocks doing great in their league final series, which is continuing tomorrow at 3 p.m. But yeah, Junior Shamrocks doing great too, Steve.
Yeah, nice double-double.
Yeah. Very good. All of lacrosse.
Who in Canada doesn't love a good double-double?
Exactly. A 5 ans, 5 ans, a double-double. It's all you need. Have a happy day. At 6:45, what else is going on here? Are the headlines with Steve?
Thank you very much, Ryan. Good morning, everyone. Gas prices a little higher around Greater Victoria now. Most stations coming in at $2.07 a liter. You can still find the odd spot under the $2 a liter barrier. The U.S. war in the Middle East continues to cost world consumers at the pump. Backup is continuing to show up in BC as the wildfire season remains extremely volatile. Premier David Eby just welcomed a troop of firefighters from Mexico, with more expected to arrive from elsewhere in Canada and around the globe, including Australia. Despite all the help, the flames have been relentless, and officials say some people really aren't getting the message. 20 tickets for illegal fires were handed out over the weekend in the interior. And hot, dry, powerful winds are turning some of those fires into infernos. Canada's Defence Minister David McGuinty announced a new innovative research facility yesterday. McGuinty says the University of Calgary will house a new quantum research hub focused on defense technology for the Canadian military. He adds those who lead in quantum technology will help shape the next generation of military capacity. BC's housing minister says her government is working with Ottawa to help fund the infrastructure needed as it pushes to build more homes in the province. The housing partnership with Ottawa calls for cuts in fees charged to developers that would normally help road funds, transit, water systems, parks, while municipalities have long complained they don't have the money to pay for those items. Housing Minister Christine Boyle says the province is talking with the feds about cutting development costs in high-growth areas while compensating municipalities so that local governments aren't left holding the bag. That's your news headlines to 647.
Well, we got another great sports story to tell, and that is the Nanaimo Night Owls making it to the playoffs for the first time in their franchise history. They're about 5 years old, and for the first time, tonight, they begin a playoff round. We're going to talk to the coach, Cody Anderchuk. He's going to be joining us in just a moment. We'll also get your traffic and weather updated. If you see any problems out there, let us know at 71010.
This summer, 3 of Vancouver Island's biggest voices are coming together to make a real difference.
Get your tickets now for the Kids Count Mega Summer 50-50.
Brought to you by 107.3 Virgin Radio, CFAX 1070, and CTV.
In support of CFAX Santa's Anonymous all-new Kids Count program, supporting children beyond Christmas.
The Mega Summer 50-50.
Your chance to win big while giving back.
Buy your tickets today at CFAX1070.com.
Gaming event license 174660.
CFAX 1070 traffic and weather. It is 6:50 here on a Friday morning. Things on the roads are looking fairly typical, actually a little lighter than usual, which is typical for, the week that had BC Day to kick things off on Monday. Very quiet just in general this week, and it's playing out so far. On the West Shore commute into Victoria, nothing really to see here. For the other major routes like the Pat Bay Highway, like the Malahat, everything is clear so far. Road obstructions will be a feature as of now and then through the day around the Inner Harbour, though. So if you're taking the Inner Harbour, Belleville, Government Street, those kind of streets right around the harbour area will be obstructed for all the David Foster activities. You got the gala tonight. You got the big concert tomorrow. Lots going on. For BC Ferry, Swartz Bay to Swanson, 7 o'clock sailing is 90% full, but it's leaving in less than 10 minutes. I think everybody's going to get on this one. It's a busy-ish day. Lots of reservations ahead. So just take a look at your ferry schedule if you head out, expecting a fairly heavily reserved schedule for this Friday. Now over to the weather forecast. Let's talk about today and the weekend. Mainly sunny for today. We'll see some wind off the Juan de Fuca Strait that's a bit stronger than we've had for the other days this week. So gusting up to 50 kilometers an hour off the Juan de Fuca Strait westerly if you're on that side of the capital region. For the temperatures, it's high of 24. It's a humidex of 27, so feeling a little warmer in the humidity. And then we will see as well a little less of the smoke haze. Still could be present at times, but the air quality has gotten a lot better. Not that it ever got really bad, but it's better than it was, and we're going to see it being just a little less present today. Clear skies overnight to start, but clouding over as the night goes on. Still breezy, lows down to 13. Tomorrow, clouds to start, then clearing up. Some more sunshine by the afternoon and evening. Highs of 22, humidex of 25. So still that humidity in the air, but it's going to be a little cooler than we saw for the other days this week. Nice night to go watch a concert in the Inner Harbor. Sunday, we've got a mix of sun and cloud, high of 22. And right now in Victoria, we've got 12 degrees as the official temperature at the Victoria International Airport. In Saanich at the University of Victoria, it's 14 degrees.
The best way to start an island morning. Ryan and Lisa on CFAX 1070.
Well, the Nanaimo Night Owls are making history on their way to the playoffs. The first time they've ever managed to get there. We're scheduled to talk to the coach of the Night Owls, Cody Anderchuk, but I haven't been able to reach him. So, hey, if you're listening, feel free to call the show. We'll just put you on the radio and we'll get into it. So that is one thing that's going on. But we'll be watching the game tonight as they take on their first ever playoff game. Pretty big news for the Nanaimo Night Owls and their Nanaimo Bar jerseys that I hope they'll be wearing tonight.
Absolutely. You know what today is, Ryan?
What is today?
It's National Sea Serpent Day.
Sea Serpent Day. And are we talking like mythical sea serpents or real sea serpents?
Well, why don't we get Bree Tennis to tell us more?
Okay, do it.
Today, we lean hard into mythology or reality, depending upon if you believe, and about 44% of us do. We celebrate the legends, the Loch Ness Monster in Scotland, Ogopogo in Canada, and the Gloucester Sea Serpent in Massachusetts, because we can. Today, embrace the tale of ocean monsters rising from the depths, because thousands say they've seen them. And it's fun to believe. I'm Bree Tennis.
I like that Ogopogo got a mention there.
Yeah, that's a national NBC clip. And Ogopogo is that famous. And you know what I missed? They took Ogopogo off of the Kelowna Rockets jerseys last season.
They did?
Yes. I don't know why they did that. That was kind of cool.
I mean, that's very unique. I mean, where else do you find Ogopogo?
You know, you should embrace stuff like that. I thought that was neat, but they went back to the traditional Rockets jerseys. Yeah.
It's fine.
Fine.
It's fine. You know what did not get mentioned there, though? Since we're talking about, you said it was what, National Sea Serpent Day?
Yes.
That's what it is? Okay. You always remember August 7th, National Sea Serpent Day. No, we've got our own. We got Cadborosaurus. Have you ever heard of Cadborosaurus?
I read something because I was checking into Cadboro Day activities.
Right.
And it was mentioned.
Yeah. We have our own, mystery sea serpent that people claim to have seen. Now, it's called Cadborosaurus because of Cadboro Bay. This is where it was apparently spotted. In 1943, apparently 2 police officers saw a huge sea serpent with a horse-like head in the Georgia Strait, and later with a pair of binoculars, they saw that the strange apparition was a sea lion with a herd of 6 other sea lions. But you can imagine that, like one big sea lion at the top, and he's got 6 kind of following behind him.
Makes sense.
Kind of. You could see why that would look like if
like
one big creature. Yeah.
Little ducklings behind the saurus.
Yeah. There have been other sightings, though, of course, which who knows what they could have been. And apparently, this goes all the way back to some First Nations accounts of seeing Cadborosaurus. So there we go. We've got our own mythical.
Does it say which body of water it was in? Was it in the Strait?
Well, I always figured it was in Cadboro Bay because of the name. But like one of the sightings here was just in the Georgia Strait, so that's different. But yeah, I gotta admit, my Cadborosaurus knowledge is lacking. So if anybody has some better Cadborosaurus knowledge, texter at 71010 says, "Good morning, Ryan and Steve. I'm at Sax Point. No sea serpents this Friday morning."
Okay,
somebody's there
that's
looking
good
right
information.
Now. Another texter says, "Just what about Cadborosaurus?" Yeah, exactly. But I don't know much about it. Actually, I would like to inform myself more on the legend of Cadborosaurus. So again, if anybody's got information, I would love to hear more about the history of this because I'm a little bit, I'm not up on my sea serpents. One other text message, by the way, at 71010, because we've been talking about gas prices, and 2079 is what we're seeing at some stations. It seems to be going up as of about yesterday, later in the day. Some of it started to creep up, and this morning we're seeing even more of that. Not all stations, though. But this texter says gas is $1.52 in Saskatoon. Hey, thanks for listening in Saskatoon, by the way. Much appreciated. Good morning. Hope you're doing well there. But yeah, a little cheaper if you're on the prairies, I guess.
I'm just looking because I know you're busy, so
Yeah.
I've been.
Are you looking up Cadbrosaurus for me?
I am.
Excellent.
Exactly. So, is said by witnesses to resemble a serpent with vertical coils or humps in tandem behind the horse-like head and long neck, with a pair of small elevating front flippers and either a pair of hind flippers or a pair of large webbed hind flippers fused to form a large fan-like tail region that provides forward propulsion. Paul LeBlanc, director of Earth and Ocean Sciences at UBC. We're getting big things.
Okay, getting deep.
And Dr. Edward Blousfield, retired chief zoologist at the Canadian Museum of Nature, stated every elongated animal has been poured as an explanation for catty, as they call him. Those include possible conger seals, humpback whales, elephant seals, ribbit or oarfish, basking sharks, and sea lions.
There we go. The sea lion story.
Yes. So the sea lion story started in 1943 when two police officers saw a huge serpent with a horse-like head in the Georgia Strait.
Yeah, that's the one I mentioned. Yeah. There was the sea lion with like 6 sea lions behind him. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Some suggestions are made that catty could be an example of the king of herrings or giant oarfish. These species can reach 11 meters in length and weigh up to 300 kilograms. The carcass of a decomposing shark is often mistaken for catty, has fooled experts and laymen everywhere. And you mentioned the First Nations accounts.
Yeah.
The native image has traditionally been used throughout Alaska. So catty is busy.
Pretty big deal.
That's a long way.
Catty's a big deal. Texter at 71010, and I think they're correct. I do believe that's why there is a serpent down at Gyro Park. Yeah, they got like a kind of cartoony one as a play feature at Gyro Park on Cadboro Bay. So there you go.
And Sydney, the First Nations people at Sydney Inlet had a special name for it.
Yeah?
Excuse me if this is wrong, Haititilik.
Nice.
Also, the Comox band up in Comox called him Numski La Koala.
Oh, so this goes back into like deep mythology.
Right.
Locally. This texter at 71010 says, good morning. I lived in Kelowna years ago and heard that Ogopogo was made up by mothers to keep children away from the water. That's a cool story. Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense.
It does, actually. Hey, we got to take a break, but loving the fact that it's National Serpent Day, Sea Serpent Day. And we got our own Cadbrosaurus right here. If you got any Cadbrosaurus info, let us know. We'll take a break, though. 7 o'clock news is next.
CFAX Victoria,
an iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
it's here.
CFAX 1070.
Good morning, 7:01 on this Friday, August the 5th. It's going to be another sunny day, a little less smoke haze in the air, and it's 12 degrees. Got a full forecast in a moment. Right now, the news begins, and here is Steve Young.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Good morning, everyone. Starting with StatScan, the country's jobs numbers are out. They beat economists' expectations in July as unemployment fell to its lowest rate nationally in 2 years.
StatCan's labor force survey on Friday said Canada added a surprising 75,000 jobs in July, blowing expectations of economists in a Reuters poll, which predicted a modest 15,000 job gain. Those jobs were split between full and part-time work. Most of the job gains came from the wholesale and retail trade sectors, though the number of jobs in the sector is still down from a year ago. Canada has now gained 181,000 jobs since April and 196,000 from a year ago. The unemployment rate ticked down to 6.4% last month, the lowest it's been since July of 2024. Nick Murray, The Canadian Press, Ottawa.
Locally, the news wasn't quite as good. Here in Victoria, the jobless rate actually rose up to 5%. That's up from 4.4 in June. In Nanaimo, the rate was down a full percentage point, though, to the national average of 6.4. It was 7.4 in June. Dramatic rescue in Strathcona Provincial Park yesterday. CTV Vancouver Island's Andy Garland tells us all about it.
Keisha Jindal is being stretchered to an waiting ambulance after spending almost 4 days on a cliff band in the Strathcona wilderness.
He has significant injuries as a result of a fall.
This morning, an RCMP helicopter searching drainages spotted Jindal.
And he was waving on something white.
And he is in a drainage, so a gully going off the side of the cliff, and that is where he has been probably for the last few days.
A technical hoist rescue team was launched to pluck Jindal off the mountainside, who is on a 60 to 70 degree slope.
Buddy walked up to here.
Search and rescue believed Jindal tried to take a shortcut down to a lake when he was waiting for his friend to return from summiting Mount Albert Edward on Monday.
If you zoom in, you can see that it's pretty steep cliffs. We're not sure how he got in there. Very lucky.
Comox Search and Rescue says this incident is a reminder why hiking parties should stick together, or if someone is unable to continue and decides to wait for your return.
Stay where you were. It's a lot easier to find you if you stay where you say you were going to be.
SAR says Jindal is also suffering from being exposed to the elements for a number of days and was airlifted to a trauma center. Andy Garland, CTV News, Mount Washington.
A 72-year-old woman sustained severe injuries, including a broken neck, in a grizzly bear attack near Gold Bridge. The BC Conservation Officer Service says the attack involved a female grizzly with at least one cub and appeared to be defensive in nature. David McKenzie with the Pemberton Search and Rescue says the victim has cuts to her face and arms and a broken neck. The woman was airlifted to Vancouver General Hospital. That's your news to 7:05. Today's CFAX 1070 news poll. Have you noticed any difference in the street disorder in downtown Victoria over the past year after Council's $10 million investment? The vast majority of you say no, unfortunately. You can vote now at CFAX1070.com or on the iHeartRadio app. It's 7:06.
Thank you, Steve. Hey, it's up to 14 degrees as the official temperature at the airport right now as we warm up into the day, eventually heading towards a high of 24, maybe even feeling a little warmer in the humidity. Full forecast to come. But right now over to the sports, lots of lacrosse. Victoria Shamrocks defeating the Nanaimo Timbermen in Game 2 of the WLA playoff semifinals last night. So they take a 2-0 lead in the best-of-5 series. That means that with Game 3 tonight, Victoria could sweep the series and advance to the WLA finals with a win on home floor. That's the senior Shamrocks. Now to the Junior A Shamrocks, who are also in their playoff series. Actually, they've already been well into it. And a texter was reminding us that they are hosting the Coquitlam Adnacs in Game 6 of their league final series tomorrow. It's 3 o'clock at the Q Center. We got the Senior Shamrocks tonight, then we got the Junior A Shamrocks tomorrow. And the Shamrocks could punch their ticket to the Minto Cup with a win since they lead 3-2 in that best-of-7. Nanaimo Night Owls play their first ever West Coast Baseball League playoff game tonight in Nanaimo. They're hosting the Bellingham Bells for Game 1 of the North Division semifinal, 6:35, the game time there. In the majors, Caleb Durbin singled in the 13th inning to score, and the Boston Red Sox rallied to beat the Chicago White Sox 12-11 in a game that lasted more than 4 hours. In the majors tonight, it's Toronto Blue Jays taking on Los Angeles, and Jose Soriano will make his Blue Jays debut after being traded back before the deadline on Monday. Detroit defeated Seattle 11-0 last night for CFL action. A couple things to talk about. Saskatchewan Roughriders are taking the winless Ottawa Redblacks seriously in Regina tonight. The defending Grey Cup champion Roughriders are second in the CFL West with a 5-2 record. Saskatchewan's quarterback Trevor Harris, though, and head coach Corey Mace both saying that the 0-7 Ottawa Redblacks, who they'll be playing, can still be dangerous. Toronto Argonauts return to the 500 mark for their season record in a thrilling fashion last night. Brady Litzter's 11-yard field goal with 11 seconds remaining capped off a wild fourth quarter and earned Toronto the 33-30 win over the Calgary Stampeders. That's your CFAX Sports at 7:09. CFAX Morning Show brought to you by Thrifty Foods. Now in season, fresh BC peaches. Joyfully juicy, tree ripened under the Okanagan sunshine. Pick some up today at Thrifty Foods. On the roads, we're still looking fairly smooth. No crashes, no accidents to report. If you see something, though, text me at 71010. Very light volume out of the West Shore. Things are smooth sailing if you're commuting at this hour. The closures are already forming around the Inner Harbor. Watch out for obstructions there. Getting ready for the David Foster events coming up tonight and then tomorrow night. Just throughout the weekend, I would say it's a safe bet that there's going to be obstructions around the Inner Harbor. For the other road work to report, there's still that closure on Yates Street ongoing for road work. Watch out for that. It's just off of Cook there. And in Langford Parkway, right around Langford Lake Road, Fortis BC work will be continuing right up until 7 o'clock tonight, and that just kicked in at 7 a.m. a few moments ago. For the weather forecast, mainly sunny skies today. Wind off the Wandafuki Strait a little more present than it's been this week. We're going to see gusts up to 50 kilometers an hour today, and it could get even stronger overnight. Temperatures are 24 degrees, but a humidex of 27. but then feeling cooler by the water, so you got that mix happening. And a little less smoke haze today than we've had for the last few days. Might still be present at times, but it's dropping off. For tonight, clear skies, lows to 13, but then clouds rolling in for the morning. So we'll start Saturday cloudy, but it clears up for the second half of the day. Just in time for the festivities in the Inner Harbor with the David Foster concert. Highs of 22 tomorrow, humidex of 25. Mix of sun and cloud for Sunday, highs of 22. And peering into the longer range forecast, it does seem like fairly stable sunny weather with temperatures in the low to mid 20s will continue into next week. No precipitation on the horizon as of yet. And right now it's 14 degrees. Getting that first look at the markets, so we have in Toronto, the S&P TSX starting the day up 172 points to 36,308. The Dow is up 127 to 54,012. NASDAQ is up 253 to 26,601. Canadian dollar at 71.7 cents US.
Let's get started. Start your day informed and entertained. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
Well, Steve telling us it's National Sea Serpent Day. And texter at 71010 says, I am watering trees at the top of Havenwood Park and gazing out over the strait all the way to Port Angeles, and there are no sea serpents in sight. So there's just another person checking in. The seas are clear today.
That might be the case. However, there have been more than 300 claimed sightings of our buddy Cadborosaurus.
No Cadborosaurus today, but
including Deep Cove, Saanich Inlet, Island View Beach on the Saanich Peninsula, and he even made a trip down to San Francisco Bay.
Why is he called Cadborosaurus? Because he seems like he gets sighted beyond Cadboro Bay.
He is the littlest hobo of sea serpents.
Now that's a good reference.
Right here on CTV Vancouver Island.
Yeah, I know. This show, if you watch the radio show on CTV Vancouver Island, you know that we're bookended by Littlest Hobo. Littlest Hobo starts the day and it ends the day here on this broadcast. I love it. No, anyways, Cadborosaurus, it's our very own sea serpent, our mythological creature. It is National Sea Serpent Day, and we love everybody's sightings today, or lack of them. Texter at 71010 says, hey, Ryan, could you tell us the total for the Santa's Anonymous 50-50 raffle? Yes. Well, I'm so excited because we just a little while ago, like half an hour ago, I was mentioning this. I was mentioning we're almost at 14,000, and I was saying, I bet by the end of the show we'll get over 14,000. We're already over. Look at that. $14,110 in the jackpot. If the draw were done today, the winner would take home a little over $7,000, which is amazing. And that means over $7,000 going to charity as well, going to CFAX Santa's Anonymous and their Kids Count program, helping children in the community beyond Christmas. I can't believe we did it that fast. In just about half an hour, we sold a few more tickets and went up over $14,000. There's still time because we do the draw Friday, August 28th at 7 a.m., But don't wait, because there's a finite amount of tickets. They could run out. Get your ticket by going to CFAX1070.com. Click on the big button there. You got to be a BC resident, over 19, all those usual kind of gambling things. But there it is. Check it out. The Kids Count Mega Summer 50-50 continues. And thank you so much for checking in there at 71010. Much appreciated. At 7:15, here are the headlines in the newsroom with Steve.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Good morning, everyone. A hiker in his 20s who went missing Monday here on the island has been found after being stranded on a cliffside for 3 days. Comox Valley Search and Rescue says 24-year-old Keshav Jindal has been located alive in the Mount Albert Edward area of Strathcona Provincial Park. The rescue team says he was found in steep terrain, and rescue crews have brought him to safety. By the way, that's the 6th highest peak on the island at more than 2,000 meters. Canada recently becomes the first country to gain observer status with the Global Air Combat Program. Now, National Defence has confirmed Ottawa's decision to kick the tires on a new multinational fighter jet program that doesn't come with any set of price tag yet. The program is for a sixth-generation fighter jet under development by Italy, Japan, and the UK. The department says there would be resource implications if Canada eventually decides to join the next-generation jet development program as a full member. And this is quite a story, Ryan. You ready for this one? Talk about lucky.
Okay.
A Richmond woman counting her lucky stars after police recovered a 1.31 carat diamond ring she lost in a local parking lot. Richmond RCMP say the recovered ring is valued at $17,000. Police say the woman lost the ring last month in a parking lot on Number 3 Road. Police were notified that night. An officer responding to the call found the ring after it was illuminated by the police vehicle's headlights.
Wow.
$17,000.
That's a remarkable amount.
Wow. I don't have a 1.31 carat diamond ring. I do not profess to be a diamond expert, but I have, sought out rings that have fallen off of other people's fingers and how much it means to them for the sentimental value, let alone $17,000. That's your news headlines to 717.
I've got another text message here at 71010. Everybody forgets about the Thetis lake monster. Google it. It was a thing. Give our lake serpent some love. I've never heard of this, so I Google searched it as the texter recommended. Thetis lake monster even has a Wikipedia page.
What?
The Thetis lake monster is a legendary creature and admitted hoax in Victoria. In 1972, two teenage boys claimed to have seen a monster emerge from Thetis Lake Beach. The description of the creature that the teenagers gave matched the description of the Gill Man from the 1954 film Creature from the Black Lagoon. And then if you read this article a little bit, apparently the Mounties even investigated. They claimed this thing jumped out and attacked them. Mounties got involved. Could find no evidence of it. They later put together that the description that the boys gave also matched a monster from a film called Monster from the Surf. And that movie had aired on television just a couple of days before.
Whoopsie.
And I guess,
See, if it was AI, you would have typed that in and got that really quick.
Yeah. I guess in 1972, it took a little while to figure out. But Thetis Lake Monster, never heard of this one, but it has a Wikipedia page. That's amazing. Thank you, Texter, for letting us know about that one as we celebrate National Sea Serpent Day today for no apparent reason.
It's taken on a life of its own.
Keep it coming at 71010. If you got a story, let us know. We're going to talk about air quality, though. It's getting a bit better today. We, had a peak badness. It wasn't that bad, but, yesterday we got to a 4 on the Environment Canada Air Quality Index. Today it looks like we're a 2. What do these numbers mean? We're actually going to talk to somebody from Environment Canada about this next. Oh, my. I got a quick little text message update. Has nothing to do with traffic and weather. But texter says, hey, that was my uncle that made up the Thetis Lake monster. Lol. Really? If you got any more to that story, let me know. I would love to hear it. Feel free to text some more details, but that's funny if your uncle pulled it off as a teenager in the 70s. Okay, traffic and weather. By the way, the whole morning show brought to you by Coastal Heat Pumps. For a comfortable home no matter the season, big savings on your heating bill. Talk to Coastal Heat Pumps, designed for comfort. South Island's Elite Plus Fujitsu Air Stage dealer. Today on the roads, it's looking very clear right now for volume delays. Not a lot of people are commuting at this time. We will have those road closures around the Inner Harbor today with the David Foster stuff happening. Watch out, those road closures are already getting into effect. For the weather forecast, which includes, getting out maybe to the Inner Harbor to watch the big concert Saturday night, the free concert in the Inner Harbor. We'll start today with mainly sunny skies, a humidex of 27, but a high temperature 24 otherwise, and a little more wind off the Juan de Fuca Strait that we've seen this week. So it's a very similar day to the rest of the week, but a little windier and a little less smoke haze in the air. We're going to get into that actually with an air quality meteorologist in just a second, so I'll leave that for a moment. Clear skies tonight, windier. It's going to get gustier off the Juan de Fuca Strait overnight, lows down to 13. We might start our Saturday with a bit of cloud, but then by the time it's Inner Harbor concert time tomorrow in the evening, it should be back to sunshine. Temperatures of 22 is a high, a humidex of 25. Sunday, a mix of sun and cloud, high of 22. And right now, it's 14 degrees.
It's all here. News, weather, traffic, and community events. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
Yeah, let's talk about the smoke. We've seen a little bit of it around the South Island over this week. It hasn't been so bad. We've certainly seen worse. But hey, what have we seen? What are we going to continue to see? And how do we interpret sort of the air quality levels that come with the smoke and the health hazards that come with it? Let's get into that right now. I've got an air quality meteorologist with the BC Ministry of Environment and Parks, Donna Haga, joining us on the line. Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm well.
Great to get you on the line here. So first off, if you don't mind, I know today we're looking at a little less haze around the South Island. Tell us what's in store for us right now.
Sure. Right now, like you said, it's pretty clear on the island. Maybe seen some low-level haze in the southern parts, but can expect much of the same for the rest of the day.
And does it look like it's starting to leave us in general in the forecast looking ahead? It seems like whatever weather pattern was bringing us all that smoke from the interior and from Washington State is starting to shift back away from us. Is it going to stay that way? Do you know?
It should stay that way for today and tomorrow. It can be difficult to say beyond that 24-hour to 48-hour time period what will happen. There's a high-pressure ridge sitting over the interior of the province where most of the fire activity is happening, and that smoke is sort of just pooling there, and there's not a lot of air movement or any weather to clear that smoke out, so it's a bit of status quo for the next day or two.
Gotcha. So hopefully clearing it out, at least of the coast here for the time being. Now, let's talk about what the smoky haze means for air quality, because, of course, we've got for Environment Canada, the Air Quality Index that we've been following this week. As when smoke arrives, you start wondering, how bad is it? Do we have to take precautions? Because sometimes it can get to a concerning level where if you've got some underlying health conditions, you might want to take it easy or take some precautions. It seemed like we never really got there this week, but still, I think it might be a good chance to interpret this scale, because in Environment Canada, you have this air quality index. It goes from a 1, which is the best, to a 10 plus, which is very high risk. We saw about a peak of a 4, it seems, over the course of this week, and today we're looking at a 2. But what do these numbers mean? Talk us through how to interpret this scale.
The Air Quality Health Index, like you mentioned, is a scale used to communicate the short-term risks to folks' health from poor air quality episodes. And so, as you said, it ranges from 1 to 10, and within that, and then above 10. So there's 4 categories. The first is, if the Air Quality Health Index is between 1 and 3, it's in the low health risk. Between 4 and 6 is a moderate health risk. 7 to 10 is a high health risk, and above 10 is very high health risk. And there's targeted guidance for within each one of those categories for both the at-risk population and the general population. at-risk population includes the elderly, children, pregnant women, people with pre-existing conditions like asthma or COPD. So on the island right now, like you said, you're sitting in the low health risk category, and the messaging for the general population is it's ideal for ideal air quality for outdoor activities. And the at-risk population, it's sort of the same. Enjoy your usual outdoor activities. So that being said, I think it's important to recognize that everybody is different, and how the smoke or even low-level haze might affect individuals can really vary. So there may be two people who seemingly would respond identically, but they may not, right? One might be aggravated by the smoke and the other may not. So people should use their common sense. If they notice haze or smoke and notice their body's not feeling its best, then they should certainly take some actions to reduce their exposure.
Gotcha. So 1 to 3, that's the low risk, which is kind of the range we're going to be in today. Nothing to see here, folks. Go about your daily lives. But like you said, if maybe there's a bit that's affecting you, you do you. Moderate risk, that's 4 to a 6. And we did see us get up to about a 4 at times yesterday. What does that moderate risk mean?
The messaging for the moderate risk category for the general population is that there's no need to modify your usual outdoor activities unless you are experiencing symptoms. Those could include coughing, throat irritation. Sometimes people feel like burning in their eyes, sore throat, that sort of thing. And then for the at-risk population, it's the guidance says to consider reducing or rescheduling strenuous outdoor activities if you are experiencing symptoms.
Well, it's something to be familiar with because I don't think we're out of the wildfire season yet, that's for sure. Even if in Victoria, at least, we're kind of getting out of the smoke for the moment. Could come back. Who knows? There's still a lot of fire season ahead. So if you're curious about the Air Quality Health Index, you can find it on the Environment Canada website. It's kind of linked off of the forecast for Victoria or any area you happen to be looking at. And we're talking to somebody who's deeply involved with this. We've got air quality meteorologist Donna Haga joining us on the line. Thank you so much for talking us through the index and sort of what to expect in Victoria for the next few days. Much appreciated.
Sure thing.
All right, we'll take a break here. 7:30 News is coming up next, but I got one more little update on sea serpents because we had that texter who a few moments ago said that it was their uncle who made up the Thetis Lake monster, one of our legendary and admitted hoax sea serpents. The texter just gave a bit more information. He says that his uncle watched the movie, The Creature from the Black Lagoon, but then he stepped on some nails the day of and said it was a creature that grabbed his foot while swimming. That's what he attributed the nail injury to. That's great detail. I love it. Thank you so much, texter, for sharing that story. We got the 7:30 News next.
This summer, 3 of Vancouver Island's biggest voices are coming together to make a real difference.
Get your tickets now for the Kids Count Mega Summer 50-50.
Brought to you by 107.3 Virgin Radio, CFAX 1070, and CTV.
In support of CFAX Santa's Anonymous all-new Kids Count program, supporting children beyond Christmas.
The Mega Summer 50-50.
Your chance to win big while giving back.
Buy your tickets today at CFAX1070.com.
Gaming event license 174660. CFAX Victoria.
An iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
It's here.
CFAX 1070.
It's 7:31 on Friday, August 7th. Good morning. Welcome to the day. It's going to be sunny for the most part, a little windier off the water, and a little less smoke in the air. Full forecast to come right now. The news begins, and here is Steve Young.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Good morning, everyone. StatsCan's labor force survey shows the country added 75,000 jobs in July. The unemployment rate also fell to its lowest level in 2 years at 6.4%. That number fell for the third straight month, down half a percentage point since April. Ontario added the most jobs of any province in July, mostly in the professional, scientific, and technical services sector. Here in Victoria, the jobless rate was up from 4.4% to June to 5% last month. BC Premier David Eby says thousands of people across the province are stepping up to help people forced out of their homes by wildfires. He says those who are directly affected are not alone.
We'll make sure that you have the supports that you need. Our wildfire fighters are out there on the front line, protecting structures, homes, critical infrastructure like power lines, making sure that people are looked after, protecting life, and as best as possible, property in this incredibly challenging wildfire season. We're expecting to see intensifying conditions.
Eby was at the Abbotsford Airport, where he welcomed firefighters from Mexico for a 2-week deployment. They're among 600 firefighters coming to help from other parts of Canada and around the world. While rents are down across the province, that isn't the case everywhere. Here in Victoria, the cost of a one-bedroom apartment was up almost a full point in July to $2,011 a month. It's still down just over 1% compared to last year at this time, though. The two-bedroom went up as well by 1.5% to $2,682 last month. BC Housing Minister Christine Boyle says the province and the federal government continue to discuss plans to slash development cost charges to lower the cost of housing. Boyle, a former Vancouver City Councillor, says she knows municipalities rely on development cost charges to fund local infrastructure, such as roads and sewers, which are necessary for housing.
So we are in discussion with the federal government about an approach to reduce development cost charges in high growth areas and have that be filled by provincial and federal investments so that local governments aren't left holding the bag.
Boyle says new figures show that her government's approach to create more housing is working, but that more work lies ahead. Remember when the price of gas, it was under $2 a liter?
I remember those glory days of yesterday.
It was yesterday, yeah. Ryan. Prices spiked again just in time for the weekend. I'm sure it's just a coincidence across Greater Victoria. New price, about $2.07 a liter. You'll still see the odd gas station that hasn't increased them yet and is under the $2 barrier. A hiker who had been missing on the island since Monday has been found. Comox Valley Search and Rescue says the 25-year-old was stranded on a cliffside in the Mount Albert Edward area of Strathcona Provincial Park. Paul Berry says he got separated from his partner during the hike and took a wrong descent to a nearby lake. Paul, by the way, will be joining us later in the program. An RCMP helicopter spotted Jindal waving, and he was rescued before being taken to emergency services. BC Hydro providing an update on the where and when of a major underwater installation. Starting August 17th, crews will install a 660-meter assembly into a pre-excavated trench underneath the Gorge Waterway. The assembly will house and protect new transmission cables, helping ensure reliable electricity between Victoria and Esquimalt. The west side of the Selkirk Trestle will be closed from August 17th to the 26th. All marine traffic and swimming will be restricted within the work zone. That's your news to 7:36. Today's CFAX 1070 News poll. Have you noticed any difference in street disorder in downtown Victoria since Council's $10 million investment a year ago? And just over 10% of you say you have noticed a difference. You can vote now at CFAX1070.com or on the iHeartRadio app. It's 7:37.
Hey, thanks, Steve. Right now, the temperature in Victoria creeping up a bit. 14 degrees is the official temperature at the airport. In downtown Victoria, it's 15 degrees. We're going to get towards a warm day, just like yesterday. A little humidity in the air, but a little windier off the Wandafuka Strait, cooling things down if you're exposed to the water. We'll get you a full forecast in just a moment. Right now, over to the sports. Lots going on. Victoria Shamrocks with a win last night in Nanaimo in Game 2 of the WLA playoff semifinals. So Victoria takes a 2-0 lead in the best-of-5 series, which returns to Victoria for Game 3 tonight at the Q Centre in Colwood. So the Shamrocks could secure a sweep of the series and advance to the WLA finals with a win on home floor tonight. So that's tonight. And then tomorrow, same place, Q Centre, we got the Junior A Shamrocks in action, hosting the Coquitlam Adnacs. Game 6 of their league final series. It's 3 p.m. tomorrow. And if they win this one, because they're leading the series 3-2, this one's a best-of-7. If they win this game, that means they'll win the series, and they'll move on to the Minto Cup. Local baseball, Nanaimo Night Owls are playing their first ever West Coast League playoff game tonight in Nanaimo, hosting the Bellingham Bells, Game 1 of the North Division semifinal at 6:35. That's when the first pitch will get thrown. And for your Major League Baseball, Detroit downing Seattle Mariners 11-0 yesterday. And Toronto in action tonight. Jose Soriano will make his Blue Jays debut as Toronto visits the Philadelphia Phillies. He was traded, of course, to the Jays right at the deadline day on Monday from the Los Angeles Angels in exchange for 3 of Toronto's prospects. That's your CFAX 1070 Sports to 7:39.
Right now at Borden Mercantile, oven-baked dog and cat food is on sale. Buy one, get one free on canned food and treats. Borden Mercantile on Borden Street near Quadra and Mackenzie.
CFAX traffic and weather. The time is 7:40, and we are looking at a very easy commute so far. The West Shore commute's looking lighter than usual. Usual slowdowns through the construction zone of the Trans-Canada Highway through the bus lane widening project, but otherwise, looking very typical this morning. If you do see a crash or something like that, you can text me at 71010. Road closures already in effect around the Inner Harbor. Belleville Street starting to lock down in front of the legislature. This is as things get ready for the David Foster concert. The galas tonight, the free concert for everybody else is tomorrow evening, and road closures will be a big part of the weekend around the Inner Harbor, and it's already underway. For BC Ferries, no sailing waits right now. 8 o'clock sailing is going to leave in 20 minutes. Oh, wait. No, it just did fill up. So we do have a 1 sail wait now at 8. If you're not on it, you got the 9 coming up after that. And the weather forecast. Today, it's a mainly sunny day, high of 24. A little extra humidity in the air, making it feel warmer. And a little extra wind off the water, the Wandafuka Strait. If you're by there, it's going to be breezier than it's been this week, up to 50 kilometer-an-hour gusts. Less smoke in the air. The haze is leaving us. Might be present at times today, but otherwise it's clearing out. Tonight, clear skies to start, lows down to 13. Extra wind off the Wandafuka Strait. It might get quite gusty, actually, if you're right on the water. Tomorrow, we start with some clouds, but we will clear up again. High of 22, humidex of 25. Sunday, sunshine, mix of sun and cloud, but more on the sunny side, it looks like, and highs of 22. On the markets, things are still making some gains. S&P TSX up 180 to 36,316. The Dow is up 160 to 54,045. NASDAQ up 241 to 26,590. And the Canadian dollar at 71.7 cents US. That's up a bit from the close yesterday.
Don't attempt your morning commute without us. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
Well, as we've been talking about in the Inner Harbor this weekend, there's all of the David Foster Foundation activities happening. Free concert going on Saturday night. But that's not all. There's so much more happening around the region, including in Souk this weekend. It's Mosh the Rock. It's the Island Metal Fest. It's taking place Sunday at Fred Milne Park, and the organizer is joining us on the line right now, Royal Savoie. He's the promoter and the guy behind all this. Royal, how you doing?
I'm great, Ryan. Thanks for having me on. Good morning.
Now, we love talking to you. Of course, you do the Metal for Munchkins fundraiser for CFAX Santa's Anonymous that you and I talk about all the time whenever you pull these off.
Yes, we do.
We love what you do. We love what the metal community does for the region. It's fantastic. And here's a big celebration of it happening Sunday. Tell us what Mosh the Rock is all about.
Well, it's the second year. Last year, I was able to, with the Souk Music and Arts Festival people, get into onto the property on the Sunday, kind of piggybacking the weekend. And last year ended up being just a great success. People were asking me afterwards, "Are you doing it again?" And of course, the metal community, it's like kind of a Victoria metal family reunion. People all come in, and the kids are there, and it's just a great day of music and community. And we're doing it again this year, Sunday, August 9th. And we're just really proud and happy to have Juno Award winners, 2025 Juno Award winners, the Ancients, headlining our show.
Who else is coming?
I'll continue. Yeah, okay. And we've got Vancouver's up and coming. They're just an amazing band called Arrow in the Quiver. We've got a progressive metal band out of Chicago. We're expanding. We went international this year, and they're out of Chicago. They're called The Rising Fall. And continuing and completing our evening headliners out in Nanaimo. We've got a band that the name really epitomizes metal, Butcher. So Butcher is going to be, and Decryptor as well. Decryptor is lining up they're from Victoria, and they're going to be our evening lineup. And the afternoon bands, the daytime bands, to complete with hard rock, and we've got some punk, and we've just got a good array of music all day long with food trucks and vendors. We got some bouncy castles. And of course, adult beverages from our friends at Howl Brewing. We're just really excited for this year's festival.
So it's Island Metal Fest. It's Mosh the Rock. It's Sunday. Gates opening at 11 o'clock in the morning at Fred Milne Park in Souk. Second time they've done this. I hope you got many more of these coming. And last word to you on this. It's if you're a metal fan, if you're in the community, you probably already know about this. But if you're not, is this should anybody go to this?
It's totally. I mean, it's inclusive. It's fun. It's an introductory to some music you may have been a little afraid of a little bit, and it's so not. It's so fun, and again, the array of different styles of metal and rock that is happening. I think there's something for everybody. You can get your tickets at orangetickets.ca, or you can go to Long and McQuaid, both locations, Handy's Cavity Curiosity Shop, Souk Forbes IDA, and the Souk PharmaSafe. And tickets are $50 online, $65 at the gate, and $25 youth tickets, and the little guffers, the little ones, 11 years and under, are free at the gate.
Oh, that's cool. Who doesn't love a deal? I love it. Royal with Royalty Entertainment. It's Mosh the Rock. It's this Sunday. Don't miss it. Thanks so much for telling us about it. Good luck.
Thanks, Ryan. We'll talk to you later.
All right, it's 7:46. It's time for the headlines. Here's Steve.
I wasn't afraid of Mosh Rock.
You're not?
No, I'm
That's
not.
good.
I've shed that and moved on, but it's you know what? The rock concerts can be the most fun thing.
Oh, for sure.
Because you can kind of let loose a little bit, right?
And even if you're not, it doesn't have to be the type of music you usually listen to, like the energy of a show like that is infectious regardless of what kind of music you listen to. So, yeah, these kind of things are cool.
Gas prices went higher around Greater Victoria yesterday. Most stations coming in at $2.07 a litre now. You can still find the odd spot under the $2 a litre barrier. U.S. war in the Middle East continues to cost consumers at the pump. Backup is continuing to show up in BC as the wildfire season remains extremely volatile. Premier David Eby just welcomed a troop of firefighters from Mexico, with more expected to arrive from elsewhere in Canada and around the globe, including our friends the Aussies. Despite all the help, the flames have been relentless. Officials say some people aren't getting the message. Almost 20 tickets for illegal fires were handed out last weekend, with hot weather and powerful winds turning some of those fires into infernos. BC's housing minister says her government's working with Ottawa to help fund infrastructure needed as it pushes to build more homes. BC's housing partnership with Ottawa calls for cuts in fees charged to developers that would normally help fund the roads, transit, water system, and parks. While municipalities have long complained they don't have the money to pay for those items, Housing Minister Christine Boyle says the province is talking with the federal government about cutting development costs in high-growth areas while compensating municipalities so that local governments aren't left holding the bag. And Canada's Defence Minister, David McGuinty, announced another innovative new research facility yesterday. McGuinty says the University of Calgary will house a new quantum research hub focused on defence technology for the Canadian military. That's your news headlines, 7:48.
Hey, heads up, we're going to be playing Rushing Through a Rush song just after the 8 o'clock news, sports, weather, and all the information you need to start your day. We'll play a Rush song really fast, and if you can still tell us what the name of the song is, we'll send you to see Rush in Vancouver this December. Stand by. That's coming up just after 8 o'clock. But right now, we're going to get into the latest StatsCan jobs numbers. As you've been hearing in the news, Canada produced some overall decent numbers. What's the scene like in BC when it comes to our unemployment rate and job creation? We're going to be talking about that in just a moment, right after traffic and weather.
CFAX, Santa's Anonymous.
Hey, grown-ups, you know, the ones still kids at heart.
Through the Kids Count Children's Grant Program powered by CFAX Santa's Anonymous, local kids are getting help with summer camp fees, food security, and mental wellness support.
Where do you see kids needing the most support?
Access to healthy, fresh food through the summer.
Visit CFAXSantas.com right now and give directly to the cause that matters most to you.
Kids Count.
Powered by CFAX Santa's Anonymous.
To find out how you can help, visit CFAXSantas.com.
CFAX Morning Show brought to you by Thrifty Foods. Now in season, fresh BC peaches. They're joyfully juicy and tree-ripened under the Okanagan sunshine. Pick some up today. We've got a very easy situation on the morning commute. It is fairly light for the major routes, and we've got closures around the Inner Harbor for the David Foster festivities. Watch out for that. But otherwise, yeah, looking like a fairly easy start to the day on the morning commute. So we do have a one-sail wait at BC Ferries. 8 o'clock is full, 9 is next. And for the weather, today, mainly sunny, less smoke. haze in the air. Humidex 27, so still feeling a little warm in that humidity. Otherwise, it's a high of 24. The other factor about today that's a little different in the last few days is there's a bit more wind off the Juan de Fuca Strait, and that's really going to build into tonight with gusts up to 70 kilometers an hour, so quite a blustery night if you're by the water. And then the rest of the weekend looks mostly sunny, maybe a cloudy start to Saturday, but otherwise clearing up for the weekend.
Thanks for starting your day with us. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
As you've heard, StatsCan says we have, as a country, created 75,000 jobs in the month of July, and our unemployment rate fell to its lowest level in about 2 years. It's down to 6.4%. That's countrywide. What about BC? How's the job creation going here? Well, to talk about it, usually we talk to Ravi Kahlon, who's the jobs minister, but he wasn't available, so we've just decided to go to the other Ravi. We got Ravi Parmar, BC minister responsible for forests, but he's also the local MLA, of course, representing Langford Highlands. So he's joining us on the line to talk numbers. How you doing, Ravi Parmar?
It's always a pleasure, Ryan and Lisa. Thanks so much for having me on your show.
Well, we just mentioned the top line numbers there for the whole country, looking pretty good. What about BC? How did we do?
Well, maybe even before I jump into BC, let's look at the international picture as well, because in receiving the job numbers for Canada, where we've added 75,000 month over month, and BC's played a significant role in that increase, let's not also forget about our friends down south. They lost 23,000 jobs last month, Ryan, and that should hopefully be a major wake-up call to many Americans who I hope are calling their governor, their state assembly representatives, those who are participating in the midterms this fall, and say, like, goodness gracious, how long can we continue to handle Donald Trump and his policies and his tariffs and his duties and all of these other things? Canada's adding jobs, Americans are losing jobs, and here in British Columbia, employment is up 17,800 jobs compared to last month. That's the second highest increase amongst provinces.
Wow, okay, so it's a pretty good chunk of those overall national numbers from here in BC. You said 17,000?
That's right, okay. And it's driven by self-employment numbers, which is a really good sign for our economy, given how fragile things are, Ryan, given the circumstances of what we're facing with the tariff and global instability. But also we're seeing success in manufacturing and construction and many other sectors that are really driving the success of BC's economy at this time.
So BC's unemployment rate down to 6.2%, down from 6.5% the month before. And you mentioned self-employment. Can you dial into that a little more? Like, what kind of industries are seeing job growth in BC?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, really it's construction, wholesale trade, and particularly seeing continued success in our tech sector as well, which I know is a vibrant home throughout the Lower Mainland. And in particular, I think people forget about the success that we have here in Victoria, in the Capital Regional District, and even in my community of Langford as well. So 20,500 month-over-month increase in self-employment, which is obviously a really good sign for British Columbia's economy and the work that we're doing to build a stronger, more resilient economy as well. I know that your listeners in Victoria obviously are interested. It just continues to amaze me following these numbers month over month. Victoria has one of the lowest unemployment rates in the entire country, especially when it comes to major cities. And so 4.4% was, or rather it's 5% this month. It has gone up slightly, but 5% compared to the 6.4% national average. I think Victoria is continuing to punch above its weight.
Yeah, and we always love to give the Victoria numbers, but with the caveat that the numbers, the statistical numbers get pretty small once you get down to there, and the numbers are a little less, exact compared to the bigger picture. But still, it's interesting to see, even though we might have seen a small unemployment uptick in Victoria, still below the national and provincial average here in Victoria. So there we go, the jobless numbers, the sort of situation in BC compared to the national situation. Since I got you here, Forest Minister, the other big thing I want to talk about is the wildfires. We've been feeling it a little bit this week here on the South Island because, of course, we started to get some of that wildfire smoke. Kind of the first time this season we've really seen that present here on the island, and it's sort of a reminder that this is a real active situation in many parts of the province. Now, as of now, where are things at? What are the big things you're watching?
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm in Chilliwack this morning, right? I'm just looking outside the window and definitely starting to see more smoke trending in here. We've got some fires just along the border in the United States and Washington that are certainly starting to push smoke into our jurisdiction. And of course, the Brunswick complex as well is continuing to grow. And I know we've got some Mexican crews that'll be heading out there to help support our wildland firefighters. I think what gives me hope this morning is every morning, the first thing I do when I wake up is I turn on the BC Wildfire app, and we have over 100 active wildfires, but we've had 0 start in the last 24 hours. I know that obviously that is a good sign because it has given us a period of calmness when we needed it, especially given the cold front we experienced last weekend. But I want your listeners to know very clearly that we have continued to see hot and dry conditions for the majority of British Columbia. We know that smoke is expected to linger across the southern parts of the province for the coming days, and we do expect to see dry lightning in the southern half of the province, in particular in the Kamloops Fire Centre, the southern Caribou, and the southeast of our province. And so while things may be a bit calmer today, there is a likelihood that things are going to get more intense. It's why we're very grateful for the resources from other domestic partners, international partners that are arriving. And it's why I'm looking forward to being in Abbotsford this morning for an exciting announcement with the federal government and BC's own, in particular Vancouver Island's pride, Coulson Aviation, for how we can work together to be able to fight more fires well into the future as well.
Minister Steve, I found how are you doing? You know, I saw that 18 people were written up with tickets for defying the fire ban right in the middle of where the fires are. How frustrating is that for the crews? How frustrating is it for you?
I think it's frustrating for everyone, Steve. It's just ridiculous. Like, sometimes you just can't fix stupid. And so my message to British Columbians is, and I know the majority of British Columbians understand this, they appreciate it, and the message that I got throughout the interior where I was in much of this week was higher fines. Like, let's, go after these individuals. Same level of frustration with those people who decide to fly their drones up in the air when a fire is occurring, or those same individuals who won't get their boats out of the way when our aerial crew are trying to get some water from our lakes and big bodies of water. At the end of the day, I want British Columbians to know our wildland firefighters are working their butts off every single day, Steve, 24/7. We all have a role to play. And I don't think it is too much to ask British Columbians not to start a campfire in the month of August. We all have a role to play. A spark can change a community, a life forever. Just don't do it.
Well, Ravi Parmar is BC's Minister of Forests, of course, also talking jobs numbers with us today. Much appreciated on both your files. Good luck with everything. I know, as you said, it's a busy time for you following the wildfires, and I'll wish you best of luck with that as we head into the weekend, and hopefully a safe one. Much appreciated.
Thank you both. Appreciate it. Take care.
All right, 8 o'clock news is coming up, and then we will play another round of Rushing Through a Rush song. Stand by.
CFAX Victoria,
an iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
it's here.
CFAX 1070.
It's 8:01 on this Friday, August the 7th. Another sunny day. A little windier, a little less smoke hazy. All those things going on today, and I'll get you the full forecast in a moment. But first, the news begins, and here is Steve Young.
Thanks, Ryan. As you just heard, StatsCan says the country's jobs numbers beat economists' expectations in July, while unemployment fell to its lowest rate in 2 years nationally.
StatCan's labor force survey on Friday said Canada added a surprising 75,000 jobs in July, blowing expectations of economists in a Reuters poll, which predicted a modest 15,000 job gain. Those jobs were split between full and part-time work. Most of the job gains came from the wholesale and retail trade sectors, though the number of jobs in the sector is still down from a year ago. Canada has now gained 181,000 jobs since April and 196,000 from a year ago. The unemployment rate ticked down to 6.4% last month, the lowest it's been since July of 2024. Nick Murray, The Canadian Press, Ottawa.
Here in Victoria, the jobless rate rose to 5%, up from 4.4 in June. In Nanaimo, the rate was down a full percentage point to the national average of 6.4. It was 7.4 in June. Remember when the price of gas was under $2 a liter? Those days were yesterday. Today, not so much. Prices spiking again just in time for the weekend. The new price in Greater Victoria seems to be $2.07 a liter. You'll still see the odd gas station that hasn't increased the fares yet. BC Premier David Eby says thousands of people across the province are stepping up to help people forced out of their homes by wildfires in the interior. Eby was at Abbotsford International Airport yesterday, where he welcomed firefighters from Mexico for a 2-week deployment.
These 200 wildfire fighters from Mexico are likely going to the Brunswick complex fire in the Fraser Canyon, and they will provide much needed support and relief for our frontline wildfire fighters to be able to recover and then return to the front line to continue their important work.
The contingent from Mexico is among 600 firefighters coming to help from other parts of Canada and the world. There are just 2 active wildfires here on Vancouver Island, both west of Campbell River, dating back to last month. Province-wide, there are 103 fires, with no new starts over the last 24 hours and 9 more blazes declared out. Environment Canada's air quality index for Victoria is at 3, or low risk today, and is expected to drop further tonight. Some smoke will drift in around the noon hour today from Oregon and Washington state fires, then clear out again. There's a new fire start just across the strait in Olympic National Park. That 1-acre fire south of the border is burning on the southern slope of Sourdough Mountain, almost due south of Souk. The federal government says its decision to kick the tires on a new multinational fighter jet program does not come with any sort of price tag, not unless it decides to formally sign on to the program.
National Defence says there's no entry fee to gain observer status on the Global Combat Air Program, allowing Canada access to inside information on a cutting-edge fighter aircraft the UK, Japan, and Italy are jointly designing. But the department admits that there would be what it calls resource implications if Canada eventually decides to sign on as a full member. 2 decades ago, Canada committed to shelling out hundreds of millions of dollars to join the Joint Strike Fighter program developing the F-35. Ottawa's plans to buy a fleet of F-35 jets remains under review amid the ongoing trade war with the United States. Kyle Duggan, The Canadian Press, Ottawa.
That's your news, 8:05. Today's CFAX 1070 news poll. Have you noticed any difference in the street disorder in downtown Victoria over the past year? After Council's $10 million investment, the vast majority of you say you haven't. You can vote now at CFAX1070.com or on the iHeartRadio app. It's coming up to 8:07.
Your chance to win Rush tickets coming up with Rushing Through a Rush song. That's just in a moment. But Steve, you were mentioning earlier that you went to sleep last night listening to a Toronto area radio station discussing how gas prices were going down.
Yes.
And then you woke up here in Victoria and the gas prices shot up over $2 a liter. Now, this texter at 71010 says, hey, I was listening to the national news last night and most provinces had the gas go down 10 cents yesterday. Why did it go up here? I'm confused, says the texter. Well, texter, you and Steve are in the same headspace here. Same experience.
Please let us enjoy our summer without pouring it all into a certain tank.
Yeah. Well, texter, you're not alone. A lot of folks scratching their heads this morning. We'll take a quick look at the weather. It's going to be a mainly sunny day today, still warm and humid, a little windier off the water, and a little less smoke haze. That's what's in store, and a full forecast is to come. Right now, it's the sports. And by the way, yes, we are playing Rushing Through a Rush song in just a moment. Get ready to call 250-386-1161. I see the phone already ringing. We'll take a random caller in just a moment. But right now, we do have to talk about the sports because we've got lots going on. For the world of tennis, Canada's last player standing at the National Bank Open, 30th seeded Leylah Fernandez, is going to face 5th seeded teenager and a phenom Myra Andreeva today in Toronto. The women's schedule also features 2nd seeded Elena Rybakina and 4th seeded Coco Gauff in round of 32 action. In Montreal, defending men's champion and 5th seed Ben Shelton takes on Belgium's Zizou Bergs. Defending Grey Cup champs, Saskatchewan Roughriders hosting the last place Ottawa Red Blacks tonight in Regina. Saskatchewan is 5-2. Ottawa still searching for its first win of the season under their new coach. Local scene, lots going on. Victoria Shamrocks defeating the Nanaimo Timbermen in Game 2 of the WLA playoff semifinals last night. That means that Victoria takes a 2-0 lead in the best of 5. It's a best of 5, so they can sweep the thing with one more win tonight, which is going to be at the Q Center. So that's Shamrocks, Nanaimo Timbermen, Q Center tonight. They could win it on home floor. For the Junior A Shamrocks, we had a texter mention earlier today saying, hey, Ryan and Steve, Junior A Shamrocks hosting the Coquitlam Adnax in Game 6 of their league final series tomorrow, 3 o'clock, Q Center. Shamrocks can punch their ticket to the Minto Cup with a win as they lead 3-2. Would appreciate this getting a mention. Thanks, says the texter. Well, there you go. Happy to give the Junior A Shamrocks a plug, too, playing tomorrow. And in local baseball, the Nanaimo Night Owls playing their first ever West Coast League playoff game tonight in Nanaimo, hosting the Bellingham Bells for Game 1 of the North Division semifinal. That game's first pitch at 6:35. And that's your sports to 8:09. All right. We're going to take that call real soon. Rushing Through a Rush song. You know how this works. We're going to play a sped-up Rush song in a moment. If you are the lucky caller who gets through, we're going to pick a random caller. You'll have to tell me the name of the song to win the prize, which is tickets to go see Rush coming to Vancouver in December. That's coming up. CFAX Morning Show brought to you by Thrifty Foods. Now in season, fresh BC peaches. They're joyfully juicy and tree-ripened under the Okanagan sunshine. Pick some up today. Roads look clear other than the road closure starting to form around the inner harbor for the David Foster Foundation activities. So, and actually, you know what? I said the roads look clear. There is a report of a fender bender heading northbound, so kind of against the grain of the morning commute on the Trans-Canada Highway. It's just before you hit Tillicum on the Trans-Canada Highway heading out of town. I don't know much more about it other than a fender bender's reported. It could be slowing things up. If you get any updates, you can text us at 71010. The weather today, mainly sunny, warm again, highs of 24, humidex of 27, so feeling a bit warmer, but it's going to be even cooler feeling by the Wanda-Fuka Strait with some stronger breezes blowing today, which will build up to gusts as high as 70 kilometers an hour overnight, lows down to 13 tonight. We'll start with a few clouds for our weekend tomorrow, but it clears up around noon and we'll get some sunshine for the rest of the day, highs of 22, humidex of 25, so still a little humid tomorrow, and a mix of sun and cloud for Sunday, highs of 22. There's your weekend. On the markets, things still making gains. S&P TSX in Toronto up 187 at this hour to 36,324. The Dow in New York is up 158 to 54,043. NASDAQ up 250 to 26,599. Canadian dollar at 71.8 cents US.
In the kitchen, in the car, and at the office. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070. Take us with you. Listen live on the free iHeartRadio app.
Steve, I'm already starting to giggle. I haven't even done the contest yet.
You know what else is making me giggle?
What?
So I can see your phone lines from my desk.
Yeah.
And every one of them is jammed.
Jam phone lines. It's amazing. We're playing Rushing Through a Rush song. Did you know that Rush, one of Canada's greatest rock bands ever, is bringing their 50-something tour to the Rogers Arena in Vancouver, December 15th and 17th. We got tickets to the 15th show. We've been doing this all week. You know how it works. I'm going to take a random caller now at 250-386-1161, and we're going to see if they can guess the song after it's been sped up to double speed. Who's this on the line? Hello?
Hello.
They're listening to us.
Who's that?
It's Steve.
Steve. Oh, we got two Steves. All right.
Yep.
So, Steve, do you know how this game works?
I do.
Okay, well, I think we're not gonna beat up at the bush here. We're just gonna play you a sped up Rush song, and Steve, can you identify it? That's the game. Here it comes. Going for it there. Right, just to let that go. Steve, other Steve, caller Steve, do you know the name of that song?
That is Tom Sawyer.
You are the winner of our final pair of tickets to see Rush coming to Vancouver in December. Steve, did you know that one right away, or was that hard at all?
I knew that one right away.
Yeah, he even says it right at the beginning. Even sped up, you could kind of tell that Geddy Lee's there saying Tom Sawyer. So there you go. You a big Rush fan, Steve?
I am a very big Rush fan.
Have you seen them before?
I have not. I am very much looking forward to this.
Well, this is great. They're definitely a bucket list band, eh? It's nice to be able to cross Rush off the list of concerts you've gone to see. So, Steve, hang on the line. Congratulations on being our final winner of these tickets. But that's been a lot of fun, Steve.
You know what I didn't get to do, though?
What?
I didn't get to do Johnny Big Voice.
No?
Okay. Can I do Johnny Big Voice?
Yeah, please do.
Rogers Center, downtown Vancouver. The sounds of Rush coming December.
Well, by the way, that's perfect because tickets are on sale. So, Steve, you're still selling the tickets. You can go buy them. But I'm afraid we've just given away our last pair of tickets to Steve, other Steve. And just one more time for the road. There you go.
The first part reminds me of Prison, a Spaceship Superstar.
Yeah?
It does.
Well, yeah, it's like until the singing starts, it actually kind of works. It's amazing. Anyways, it's 8:16. We're going to get the headlines out of the newsroom with Steve.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Good morning, everyone. A hiker in his 20s who went missing since Monday has been found after being stranded on a cliffside for 3 days. Comox Valley Search and Rescue says the 25-year-old Keshav Jindal has been located alive in the Mount Albert Edward area of Strathcona Provincial Park. The rescue team says Jindal was found in steep terrain and rescue crews brought him to safety. That's the 6th highest peak on the island. It's more than 2,000 meters up. By the way, we'll hear from Comox Valley Search and Rescue coming up with Ryan in about 3 minutes' time. Thousands fled wildfires along Okanagan Lake over the weekend, where hundreds of homes were destroyed, while others in the fire-affected areas of the BC interior were lighting illegal fires. The BC Conservation Officer Service says it issued 18 tickets for illegal fires in Clinton, 70 Mile House, Okanagan Lake, and Boston Bar. Fire prohibitions are in effect in those areas, banning all campfires and burns, although the service did not specify the types of illegal fires involved. BC government bringing in new requirements for credit reporting agencies and lenders, protecting against identity fraud and making it harder for criminals to take out loans or get a credit card in someone else's name. Attorney General Nikki Sharma says the new rules will come into effect in August of 2027, making amendments to the Businesses Practices and Consumer Protection Act. That's your news headlines, 8:17.
Got a text here. I was sure you'd play Spirit of the Radio because you're the top station in town. Well, texter, we already did Spirit of the Radio. That was a couple of days ago. And if you missed it, it sounded like this. I think that one was my favorite.
Did you make up that email?
No, I didn't make it up.
Legit email?
You were saying I was faking it to have an excuse to play that one more time?
I'm not saying that. I'm being a journalist here and asking the question.
It was a legit text message from a listener who said I was sure you'd play Spirit of the Radio. And we did. And there was a great excuse because that one was my favorite. Of all the sped up Rush songs, that's my top pick. Good work, everybody. Okay. Hey, by the way, we might be out of Rush tickets, but I still have one more 4-pack of tickets to give away to the Pacific FC game tomorrow. So we're going to find a way to give those away. Find a way to give them away. That's what I meant to say. Coming up sometime before the show's over. So if you've been listening and you're wondering, has he given away the soccer tickets? I haven't. We'll do that a little later before the show's over. But right now, let's talk about that dramatic search and rescue operation that took place in Strathcona Park over the last few days. After 3 days in the wilderness, somebody finally found the missing man. That story's next. Yo, the CFAX Morning Show, brought to you by Bluebird Cabs. If you need a cab, download the new Bluebird Cabs app. It's at Bluebird Cabs LTD. So Bluebird Cabs with the letters LTD at the end. They're proudly local, Canadian-owned, and run since 1946. We do have reports of a fender bender, which is on the Trans-Canada Highway, just before Tillicum or around about Tillicum somewhere. It's heading out of town, so it's not affecting the kind of commute into Victoria. It's sort of heading out of town. I don't know if it's still causing much of a trouble, but we did have that report earlier this hour. So if you have any updates, let me know at 71010. Otherwise, it's looking pretty typical. Road closures around the Inner Harbor because of the David Foster stuff. Watch out for that. And in the weather forecast, sunshine today with a few clouds and a little less smoke haze in the air. It's possible we'll still see a bit of it, but not as much as we did over the last few days. A lot windier off the Wandafuka Strait, and by this evening, gusts up to 70 kilometers an hour off the water. Otherwise, a high of 24 today. Temperatures will also feel a bit warmer in the humidity. We got a humidex of 27. Clear skies tonight, but then clouds for the morning. But the rest of our Saturday clears up, back to some sunshine, highs of 22. A little humidity back in the air tomorrow as well. And a mix of sun and cloud for Sunday, highs of 22. Right now, at the Victoria International Airport, we're up to 15.
Ryan and Lisa. Mornings on CFAX 1070. Remember, you have us in the palm of your hand. For listeners on the go, listen live on the free iHeartRadio app.
Yesterday brought relieving news for the friends and family of a 25-year-old hiker from Courtenay when an RCMP helicopter found him on a cliffside in the Paradise Meadows, Mount Albert Edward area. He'd been missing since Monday. Spent all those days out in the wilderness. He had reportedly decided to stay behind as his hiking partner made the ascent up the mountain, and then he was missing. Huge search and rescue efforts ensued, and joining us to talk about it, Comox Valley Search and Rescue Manager Paul Berry on the line. Sir, how you doing?
I'm great this morning. How are you?
Well, I guess congratulations to your team. This is a great result after a scary few days.
A tremendous result, and it was the work of over 12 SAR teams from throughout the island and on the Lower Mainland.
Yeah, what a big operation here. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. Talk about how this all started. So it was Monday, right? This 25-year-old hiker goes missing. How did it first start for you?
We received a page at about 11 o'clock Monday night. That there was a hiker who was overdue in the Mount Albert Edward area. We immediately paged out the team and set teams hiking from the Ravens Lodge parking lot area on Mount Washington into the search area. They searched through the night without success, and then we began expanding and increasing the number of search teams first thing Monday morning.
Right, and then nothing, and then nothing, and then it was finally yesterday that I guess he was spotted by a helicopter in a fairly unusual area. Can you talk about where he was found?
Well, I can say that he was found where we expected to find him.
Okay.
We had utilized all the tools, all the science of lost person behavior, all the knowledge we have of the terrain and what it can do to people who get off trail. And our highest probability area were all of the cliff bands along the western shore of Moat Lake. We believed that he had mistaken one lake for the other and had headed down to the lake in hopes to reach the bottom and meet his partner there. So that was our target area. It had been searched a number of times with very high-tech resources, infrared, and other resources unsuccessfly. And just on this pass with RCMP Air Services, they were able to see him waving something, and it caught their eye. And at that point, we moved from search into rescue.
It was like a steep cliff he was on or something, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a very steep cliff. That entire area is cliff band after cliff band for many hundreds of meters. Our teams had been rappelling cliff bands for 2 days from the top of the ridge all the way down to the lake, only to be put in boats, taken to an island, helicoptered back to the top, and doing it over and over again. He had taken a considerable fall, probably a couple of 100 feet, landed on the ledge where he was located. The next step beyond that was probably 600 feet.
Oh, wow. I don't think I realized how dramatic that was. So he fell, got caught on a ledge, and that's why he was stuck, because the next thing was a 600-foot drop.
And in that fall, he sustained significant injuries, and he was not going anywhere after that.
My gosh. But he's doing okay now?
He is in Nanaimo Hospital. He's going to have a very long recovery from these injuries.
Okay. But safe, at least in hospital, getting treatment. Now, in the aftermath of all this, anything you think people should know, any advice for people based on what happened and the predicament this fellow found himself in?
Yeah, we certainly encourage both locals as well as all those who visit our province to enjoy the beautiful provincial parks that we have and to enjoy hiking and the other recreating that they do, but we want them to go prepared. So I'd really like to encourage everyone to take a look at the adventuresmart.ca website. AdventureSmart is the prevention branch of search and rescue across Canada, and it has tremendous resources that talk about 3 simple things: training, trip planning, and taking the essentials. Training is about making sure that you have the skills and competencies to undertake whatever you're recreating, what method of recreating, whether it's mountain biking or backcountry horseback or hiking. Trip planning is all the detailed thinking about weather and terrain and telling someone where you're going. And then the essentials are all the equipment that you need to take to look after yourself in the event that you're delayed or you're injured, because in the backcountry in British Columbia, it's not as simple as picking up a phone and calling 911. Many places don't have cell coverage, and so you need a device that can reach out in the event of an emergency, but you may be on your own for many hours until you can be located. So we want you to take those essentials as well. So again, just encourage people to take a look at that website. It's got some great information for you there.
Well, Paul Barry, search manager with Comox Valley Search and Rescue. It was days of searching, and they finally did find a 25-year-old hiker from Courtenay who had gone missing while he was hiking. He had split off from his hiking partner, then was lost until they found him yesterday. Thank you for telling us the story. Dramatic stuff. Much appreciated.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right, we'll take a break. 8:30 News coming up next on CFAX.
You've heard the chaos. Now you can see it. Oh my God. Watch all your favorite podcasts from start to finish right inside the free iHeartRadio app.
Gets the blood going, huh?
Catch every laugh and eye roll on shows like the Tom Green Farmcast and Park the Bus. Now with full video.
We're building a ramp for Tony Hawk.
It's the same hosts and the same chemistry with all the hilarious moments you've been missing right on your screen.
Cheers.
Open the free iHeartRadio app, search video podcasts, and tap watch. CFAX Victoria,
an iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
it's here.
CFAX 1070.
Good morning. It's 8:31 on Friday, August the 7th. Another sunny one. A little less smoke in the air today, but a little more wind off the Juan de Fuca Strait. We'll get to a full forecast in a moment. Right now, the news begins. We say good morning to Steve Young.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Good morning, everyone. StatsCan says the country added 75,000 jobs in July, beating economists' expectations. A Reuters poll of economists had predicted Canada would add 15,000 jobs last month. Reporter Michelle Zedican says the unemployment rate fell for a third straight month.
The unemployment rate ticked down to 6.4% in July. The jobless rate is also down half a percentage point from a year ago, as more people who were looking for work were successful at finding jobs than this time last year.
Here in Victoria, the jobless rate rose to 5% in July, up from 4.4% in June. In Nanaimo, the rate was down a full point to 6.4%. While rents are down across the province, it isn't the case everywhere. Here in Victoria, the cost of a one-bedroom apartment was up almost a full point in July to $2,011 a month. It's still down just over 1% compared to last year at this time. The two-bedroom went up as well by 1.5% to $2,682 last month. Ontario Premier Doug Ford urging the Prime Minister to make a gas tax suspension permanent, or at least extend it beyond its looming expiry date.
Carney announced in April that the government would pause collection of the federal fuel excise tax on gasoline and diesel until Labor Day as a way to counteract rising gas prices. It saves Canadians 10 cents a litre on regular gas. Ford has written today to Carney asking him to keep the tax break in place until January 1st or to make the suspension permanent. Federal Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has made a similar call. Alison Jones, The Canadian Press, Toronto.
Voters are set for an 8th federal by-election between August 31st and mid-April due to the upcoming departure of Ontario Conservative Larry Brock. Brock, who was first elected in 2021 to represent the southwestern Ontario riding that is now called Brantford-Brant South, says he's leaving the House of Commons to take a position at the Crown Attorney's Office in Brantford. Brock has become the third Conservative MP to resign so far this summer after Saskatchewan MP Kathy Wagnall announced her pending exit at the end of the month, and Quebec's Richard Martel was appointed to the Senate. At the same time, thousands were fleeing wildfires along Okanagan Lake over the weekend. Hundreds of homes were destroyed. Others in fire-affected areas of the interior were lighting illegal fires. The BC Conservation Officer Service says it issued 18 tickets for illegal fires in Clinton, 70 Mile House, Okanagan Lake, and Boston Bar. Forest Minister Ravi Parmar was on CFAX earlier, sharing his frustration about some people impeding firefighting efforts.
It's just ridiculous. Like, sometimes you just can't fix stupid. And so my message to British Columbians is, and I know the majority of British Columbians understand this, they appreciate it, and the message that I got throughout the interior where I was in much of this week was higher fines. Like, let's, go after these individuals. Same level of frustration with those people who decide to fly their drones up in the air when a fire is occurring, or those same individuals who won't get their boats out of the way when our aerial crew are trying to get some water from our lakes and big bodies of water.
Fire prohibitions are in place in those areas, banning all campfires and burns. The Conservation Service did not specify the types of illegal fires involved. That's your news, 8:35. Today's CFAX 1070 News poll. Have you noticed any difference in street disorder in downtown Victoria over the past year after Council's $10 million investment? The majority of you, the vast majority, say no. You can vote now at CFAX1070.com or on the iHeartRadio app. It's 8:36.
Thank you, Steve. Looking at another sunny day, a little less smoke haze in the air today. We'll get you a full forecast in a moment. It's 15 degrees right now. CFAX 1070 Sports in lacrosse. Victoria Shamrocks are now up 2-0 in the best of 5 series against the Nanaimo Timbermen. So Game 3 of the WLA playoff semifinals will take place tonight back at the Q Center. And with the Shamrocks up 2-0 in a best of 5, they could sweep the series and advance to the WLA finals with a win on their home floor tonight at the Q Center. And also tomorrow at the Q Center, Junior A Shamrocks hosting the Coquitlam Adnacs in Game 3 of their league final series. It's 3 o'clock tomorrow. Shamrocks could punch their ticket to the Minto Cup with a win as they lead 3-2 in that series. In local baseball, the Nanaimo Night Owls will play their first ever West Coast League playoff game tonight in Nanaimo, hosting the Bellingham Bells for Game 1 of the North Division semifinal. 6:35 is when that game gets going. And tonight in CFL football, defending champion Saskatchewan Roughriders host the last place Ottawa Red Blacks in Regina. That's your CFAX Sports 738. Hey there, CFAX 1070 traffic and weather. By the way, morning show brought to you by QP Vancouver Island, working to deliver public services that island communities rely on. QP, better services, better communities. On the roads, we've been following a fender bender on the Trans-Canada Highway northbound at Tillicum. It looks like that has cleared up now, and traffic is moving again. So smooth sailing again, northbound on the Trans-Canada Highway. Everything else is looking good. Do watch out for the road closures around the Inner Harbor for the David Foster celebrations going on with the gala tonight, the concert tomorrow. We're going to talk about that in just a second, by the way. So just be aware that the road closures are already starting to kick in. For the weather forecast, looking at a mainly sunny day. We'll see a bit of wind off the Wanda-Fuca Strait, though. It's going to get a bit breezy at times. Gusts up to 70 kilometers an hour tonight on the more exposed side of the capital region. Otherwise, highs of 24. A humidex of 27 is what you can expect. On the markets, S&P TSX up 154 to 36,291. The Dow is up 135 to 54,020. NASDAQ up 316 to 26,664. Canadian dollar at 71.8 cents U.S.
Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070. Oversleepers, catch all the highlights on the latest audio podcast at CFAX1070.com and on the free iHeartRadio app.
Yes, the setup is underway for the David Foster Foundation concert and gala and everything that's going to be going on around the Victoria Harbour for today. Here to talk more about the setup and how it's all going, I got Mike Ravenhill, CEO of the David Foster Foundation, joining us on the show again. We've been talking to him throughout the run-up to this thing. Mike, great to get you back on the radio. How are you feeling right now?
Wouldn't lie if I told you that I wasn't tired. That may be a lie. So Let me tell you, it is coming together so well. We've got just a team out here setting things up. We do have some of the road closures in effect as of this morning. So we've got Belleville that's closed right now as we're bringing the trucks in to get everything set up for tomorrow night's show. And then we've got some big screens going up on Government Street in front of the Empress as well. And we'll be placing more on the lawns, in front of the lawns of the Parliament buildings a little later today. So it's all coming together. We've got fantastic weather. We're looking forward to putting on a great show for Victoria tomorrow night.
I guess it's got to be a little more logistically challenging when you're setting up on barges for some of this. I mean, you got the stuff on the land, you got the big screens you're setting up, but then you got to be involving water.
Yeah, it does. It's actually, that's a great point because, you have tides that you have to deal with. You have the movements in the harbor, which has been amazing. We've got a lot of great people working with us, Greater Victoria Harbor Authority and Victoria Tug and Barge and many others, Coho, that we wouldn't be able to do it without them. And it's just been incredible how everyone's come together. The logistics are very layered. And, we started on the barge on Monday, laying it out and then starting to load it. And then, that takes a whole nother day. And, yeah, it's a lot of fun, but a lot of work, and there's a lot of people pulling this one together.
Well, we know that there's the gala tonight, which is taking place, for the ticketed event, and that's the big fundraising moment. Star-studded red carpet is going to be featuring here. Then tomorrow, Saturday, that's the free for the public event on those barges we've just been talking about. We've got the concerts, and we've got the fireworks and the drone show. Why don't you take us through the weekend real quick again for people who are wondering what's coming at them and where they can catch it. Take us through the events.
Yeah, sure. I'll give you a quick flyover. We've got tonight will be the big black tie gala at the convention center, and that'll be starting at 5:30, and that goes throughout the evening. We've got Adam Levine from Maroon 5. We've got Chad Kruger from Nickelback, CeeLo Green, David Foster, Catherine McPhee, Lauren Allred from The Greatest Showman, the Tenors. We have, Sydney Christmas from Britain's Got Talent, Daniel Emmett. There are so many. Shalea, who just won an Emmy 2 weeks ago. It's going to be an amazing, amazing evening there. And then we have on the barge, it's going to be the next night. And that event starts at 7:30. But we actually really encourage people to come early. There are some areas that are blocked off for all of our the sponsors and so forth that have helped put this on, because we know these events are not cheap. And so we've got a tremendous amount of sponsors that have stepped up. And so the lower causeway will be blocked off in front of the barge, but all the up on the legislative lawns, in front of the Empress, we have big screens, big TV screens. They're LED walls that will be showing the stage and everything, and we have big audio stacks, so you'll be able to take it all in. We have TV cameras. We have about 8 TV cameras that will be shooting the show, so everyone will get a view. Everyone will get the opportunity to listen and see and hear. So it's going to be an amazing night. We start at 7:30. With the national anthem and some surprises in the sky. And then we go all the way through to about 10 o'clock, where we'll have a finale with the fireworks and drones and so forth. So a big night planned for Victoria, and David's way of saying thank you to Victoria. Thank you for being there for our foundation for 40 years and supporting his foundation.
A big weekend of celebrations in Victoria. Mike Ravenhill is the CEO of the David Foster Foundation. Thank you so much for joining us throughout the last few months as we kind of led up to this moment. But here it is, and I'll let you go so you can keep getting ready. And sleep is coming, I bet, eh?
Sunday. I look forward to that, too, but I look forward to being involved in this weekend. Thank you guys for what you do for this city, and Ryan and Lisa, thanks so much for just allowing us to come on and share with the city of Victoria.
Much appreciated. Good luck, Mike, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks so much. Take care.
There you go. There's the whole thing in a nutshell. But right now it's time for the headlines. Here's Steve.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Good morning, everyone. Gas prices up across Greater Victoria. Most stations now coming in at $2.07 a liter. You can still find the odd spot under the $2 a liter barrier. The U.S. war in the Middle East continuing to cost world consumers at the pump. Backup continuing to show up in BC as the wildfire season remains extremely volatile. Premier David Eby just welcomed a troop of firefighters from Mexico yesterday, with more expected to arrive from elsewhere in Canada around the globe, including the Aussies. Despite all the help, the flames have been relentless. Canada's Defence Minister David McGuinty announcing a new innovative research facility yesterday. McGuinty says the University of Calgary will house a new quantum research hub focused on defense technology for the Canadian military. And your lucky person of the day is a Richmond woman, after police recovered a 1.31 carat diamond ring she lost in a local parking lot. Richmond RCMP say the recovered ring is valued at $17,000. Police say the woman lost the ring in a parking lot on number 3 road, and police were notified. An officer responding to the call found the ring after it was illuminated by the police vehicle's headlights. And that's your news headlines to 8:47.
It's Friday. That means we got to get our Friday food vibes on. Dallas from the Vic Food Guys joining us with some of the exciting things he's going to be eating this weekend, or maybe he's already tried and wants to recommend. That's coming up next. We've also got that 4-pack of tickets to give away. It's our final 4-pack of tickets to the Pacific FC game this Saturday, taking on Toronto. Still looking for that first win. Do you want to go? Sometime before the end of the show, we'll tell you how you can win those tickets.
From CFAX 1070.
Here's what's happening around the island. Celebrate our coast at Cadboro Bay Festival, Sunday, August 9th from 11 to 3 p.m. Victoria Symphony presents Symphony in the Summer Festival, July 10th through August 9th. Details at victoriasymphony.ca. Have an event you want featured on CFAX 1070? Text us at 71010 to be featured.
Get more event info at CFAX1070.com.
If it's happening, it's here.
CFAX 1070.
Hey, CFAX Morning Show brought to you by Thrifty Foods. Now in season, fresh BC peaches, joyfully juicy, tree-ripened under the Okanagan sunshine. Pick some up today at Thrifty's. Okay, on the roads, we're clear of that crash that was on the Trans-Canada northbound at Tillicum. Things are moving fine there. As we were just hearing from Mike Ravenhill with the David Foster Foundation, they are currently setting up and getting ready for the gala tonight, for the big concert in the Inner Harbor tomorrow. So they've already got Belleville closed, and there will be road closures around the Inner Harbor all this weekend, or at least until, this thing's all cleared up. So watch out for that. And for the BC ferries, we got a 1 sail wait. 9 o'clock is full. 10 o'clock is next from Swartz Bay to Sawasan. The weather, there's a lot going on, but more or less, it's mostly sunny for today and the weekend ahead, with temperatures starting to moderate a little bit, a little cooler on the weekend, but not that much, just a little cooler. The things that are different today, a little less smoke haze, but a little more wind. Gusts up to 70 kilometers an hour by this evening off the Juan de Fuca Strait. So that western side of the capital region getting some big breezes. Then the other thing that's different is a little less smoke haze in the air today. We're seeing that clear out of the forecast. We'll start our Saturday with clouds. It's going to be overcast to begin with, but it does clear up by the time we get to the afternoon and for the rest of the weekend. Right now, 15 degrees.
Eat it. Just eat it. Come on then, let's go.
Friday food vibes.
You ever think about what we put into our mouths?
All the time.
You are cooking
on CFAX 1070.
Hey, it's time for Dallas and the Vic Food Guys. Dallas, how you doing?
Doing very well. You know, tomorrow is a very special anniversary. Did you know this?
No, what is it?
Tomorrow is the 10th year anniversary, the first time Mike and I came on CFAX.
Oh, really? So you've been doing food reviews on CFAX Radio for 10 years as of tomorrow?
Yeah, it seems pretty nuts. I looked this up the other day, and I was shocked.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. When I was a little guy, my dad and I used to go every Saturday to the shaver shop, BC Shaver and Hobbies, downtown. And they always used to have CFAX playing there, and I would hear the jingle, you know, so I have nostalgic feelings towards the old CFAX jingle, but I could never imagine, like, who are these people that are on this thing, and you hear their voice, and I could have never imagined I would be doing that, you know, so it was cool to reflect on that.
That's amazing, and I do love those old jingles, by the way, the old CFAX sound effects. We do have a few of them. Hang on, just for nostalgia's sake, let's see if I've got this. Let's see if I can play this one. Where is it here? Sorry, I'm just pulling it
if
out.
You have it, it's going to give me feels here, nostalgic feels.
Let's see. Here's for the nostalgia. How's that for you? Does that remind you of the old ones?
Yes, all of that. Yeah, it's good stuff. So I was reflecting on all this, and, you know, I want to thank all the listeners, too, that do check out when I'm on the air and that don't tune out, that actually come along with the craziness that is my recommendations and all that kind of stuff. I really appreciate everybody, and I have massive love for everyone that listens. So, yeah, thank you.
Well, happy anniversary, 10 years of Dallas and the Vic Food Guys on the radio. So let's celebrate by talking about some stuff going on this weekend to eat. What do you got for us?
Yeah, so tomorrow from 11 to 3 p.m., there's the Cadborough Bay Festival happening at Gyro Park. So it's going to be like, you know, music, games, family activities. They're going to have food there, which will include a place that I talked about last week, which is Bao Theory, the food truck. But this is all happening at Gyro Park tomorrow. So if you're looking for like a family-friendly event and you want to go and do some stuff, that seems like it's going to be a really good time. And Bao Theory again. I made a post on Instagram yesterday on Vic Food Guys, and just like the reception of that post was crazy. Now it turns out, I guess a lot of. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, you were telling. This is the one where you had like the dancing fish.
Mm-hmm.
That's that one. Yeah,
the bonito flakes.
Bonito flakes.
On the fries. Yeah. So if you want to have some really cool stuff, if you haven't had bao before, the little buns, they have just an array of a few of them. And again, I spoke about it last week, but the vegetarian one with the crispy daikon cake. You know, normally I think you would maybe find tofu in that, but this daikon cake, this radish cake, was so cool. Just really, really cool fusion going on. And if for anyone that does see that truck, Bao Theory, do not skip it. Go and check them out. But that's tomorrow at Cadborough Bay Park, Gyro Park.
And were you also, I see in the notes here you sent me that they also might be showing up at the David Foster concert?
Yes, they'll be there as well. Yes.
Oh, wow.
And I know that's going to be, I'll be downtown tomorrow, so I think I'm going to try and check that out. I'm going to be going to March, which is a restaurant. I talked about it on one of the Friday segments previously, where, you know, if you're looking for Chinese food and just unbelievably cool stuff, then March, you know, as a reminder for anyone looking for that, March is the place you want to go check out. Kalista does handmade soup dumplings, which it seems like, I don't know if you can get those anywhere else in the city. I haven't really heard that they're available, but she will do those if you order them. They're not on the menu, but at March you can find them. So that's a special thing.
Excellent. Okay, so that's Bao Theory and March. What else you got for us? I know there's pickles involved in your weekend.
Yeah, so I saw yesterday that so Pickle Fest is coming up next weekend on the 15th.
Yeah.
So a week tomorrow. You know, happening at Phillips Brewing, an event related around pickles, everything pickles. So if you're a fan of pickles in any level, I think this might be like, I don't even know how excited you'll get about this thing. But it looks like the tickets, the advance tickets sold out, but there are still tickets available for entry after 4 p.m. the day of the event. So those tickets are still available. They're $20 plus tax. So the reason why I'm bringing this up now is just like you don't want to wait till the last second if everything sells out. I don't know where it's at in the full scope of a sellout, but it's happening a week tomorrow. And yeah, so I would look into Pickle Fest if it sounds interesting. Don't wait. But they will have also, I believe, tickets the day of, like a limited amount of them. So there always is that possibility. But, you know, if you want tickets now, grab them before they're gone, basically.
Dallas, it's Steve. I have a question, and this is an observation. Are we becoming, in Victoria in particular, like one of the chicken hubs of the world?
Fried chicken places are everywhere.
Well, yeah. It seems like there is a large infatuation with chicken. I will fully agree with that. One of my buddies is like a connoisseur, let's say, of like Korean fried chicken. And there is definitely a large selection of places. And the thing about chicken, too, like the thing that I find with this is everyone has a preference. And people generally seem to have pretty strong opinions on like who is the best. I'll put in quotes with my hands, best, or their favorite for sure. But there are a lot of options, you know, and even if you look at something like Good Ovening downtown, like that's not even fried chicken. That's like oven roasted chicken. So there are different things available. I'm gonna, I think, try and go out and check out Chicken Hub, which is by UVic. They got this burger, this massive thing. It looks insane, and they pour this sauce over top of it. So that to me speaks to the more gluttonous side of myself, where I'm like, I need to experience whatever that thing is.
Love it. Dallas, for the Vic Food guys, I got to cut you because we're out of time, but there we go. A texter says Chicken 649. That's their pick. Hey, I said it was going to happen. Call me at 250-386-1161. I got a pair of Pacific FC tickets to give away to caller 1. We'll talk to you next week.